Good evening, Knicks at Night family. Hope you guys can hear me. Hope all is well. You enjoying your Sunday and you had a good weekend. Shout out to Freezy. Man's unbelievable. Had a marathon session last night and followed up with a great session this morning in the Knicks morning drive with Ghetto Intellect, one of my favorite guests. And I don't know how he does it. It must be a Blanche Tears cyborg or something. So shout out to everyone. State of New York, how are you? I see you in the chat. Along with Motivated by Success, I run the champion. Hope all is well. Hey, I'm looking now at the number. We're 968 subscribers, 32 away from the 1,000 subscriber milestone. Please help us reward Freezy for all his hard work. Let's give him that Christmas present he deserves. Let's hit that 1,000 milestone, 1,000 subscriber milestone. And so if you subscribed, please turn your friends on to the Knicks at Night family, Knicks Morning Drive family, and have them subscribe. There's once you hit 1,000 subscribers, there's other functionality that comes in that YouTube allows. Polling chats, so it can become a much more interactive environment and allow us to provide much more entertainment for you. So tonight, our agenda is it's a little light on the Knicks news, but we'll talk about the Knicks. Few things. I wanted to talk about the media, how Tibbs is going to hold up. I saw one of the first negative articles, fake news, trying to stir up issues, and we'll go into that. And we'll also talk about maybe cap space, but we'll talk Knicks basketball. I was listening to Guillermo on Legion of Knicks podcast. Shout out to Guillermo, great show. But I had almost a heart attack. He was going over. He had Coach Color Blocks on the show tonight, and all of a sudden the screen went black with suspended by YouTube for copyright infringement. Thank the Lord, he came back on a couple of minutes later, and but if you're playing video of even with the sound off of Knicks, it's getting scary. You don't want to lose the momentum. So, but the talk was very interesting. And once the panel comes on, we'll talk about Coach Colorblocks and Guillermo's comments about DSJ, about Frank. And also I saw an interesting article out of New Orleans newspaper this morning about Kyra Lewis that we'll talk about. So, hey, how are you, Kevin?
What's going on?
Hey, Joe.
What's happening, Steve? What's happening, Kevin? How are we all doing?
Hey, Joe.
We're doing well. I'm sure our guy Ron Cleveland hopefully will be here in a sec. He always adds so much.
Yeah, I was on with Ron earlier. We were just talking quickly.
Yeah.
There we go.
I'm having a good day, by the way.
I don't know what was going on, man. I was having a hard time trying to get in.
Nah, Kevin's happy because the Jets won their first game in a year and a half.
Why are you happy? We lost. We're going to lose the Trevor Lawrence sweepstakes.
I didn't want Trevor Lawrence.
Lawrence,
he's a generational player.
You know, this generational player thing is so overrated.
Yeah.
I can go down a long list of how many quarterbacks supposed to be generational players and don't turn out to be anything. And even the Andrew Luck, he's talking about Andrew Luck supposed to be the generational quarterback. Where's Andrew Luck at right now?
He retired. Injuries got to him.
Injuries, but he was a great quarterback before the injuries caught up. And also, hold on 1 second. I got to give a shout out to my man Ron Cleveland for his Dolphins. Congrats, my friend.
Yeah, we still in this thing, man. We just need to win out. We'll be in the playoffs. But more importantly, it's always nice to beat the Patriots, but stopping them from getting to the playoff, that streak is over with. 2008, I think they say it was the last time, like they've been in it since 2008 every year.
No, 2002.
Yeah, so it's a wrap for them.
When Tom Brady was drafted, that was the last. 2002 was the last time. They didn't make it.
Well, they missed it 1 year. They missed it 2008. That was the year we won the division with Chad Pennington, I believe, because they didn't make the playoffs that year. They had Matt Castle as their quarterback.
Oh yeah, Brady was out. Brady got hurt.
Yeah, Brady tore that knee up.
But listen, Kevin, you guys are talking about this Trevor Lawrence thing. It's coming out that Lawrence is talking about if the Jets are the number 1 pick, he's talking about going back to college.
Well, don't worry, he can go to Jacksonville. They have wonderful weather there.
Well, that's the thing. You guys,
taxes are so much greater. You don't have to pay that state tax.
But you know what? The Jets, to get better, if he don't want to play for you guys draft him and trade him, and you guys can get a lot because there's a lot of teams that'll be happy to move up and try and get him.
Well,
you guys
right now, we don't have to worry about that because we're not getting the number 1 pick. So
we'll take that lineman out of Oregon. That's a beast.
I posted on my Facebook even months ago. I posted on my Facebook that I want a Penny Sewell. You put him with Mekhi Becton. Oh my goodness!
That's the start of a foundation of a great line for years and years to come.
That's the problem. Sam Darnold is a very good quarterback. He just needs a team around him. You put
hold on, 1 second. Did you guys follow Darnold from USC onward?
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. I'm an Ohio State fan.
Unfortunately,
so when Ohio State played USC in the Rose Bowl, I had a friend who is a Giants fan, and the Giants were like stinking then, and they were worse than we did. And I was like, you know what? Looking at Sam Darnold, I was like, man, look, that's the future Giants quarterback right there. He was looking really good, not knowing that like 3 months later he'd be on the Jets.
Yeah, I wanted us to take him, but I understand why. Look, to me, taking Saquon was stupid. Generational talent, but can't stay healthy, and you don't take a running back number 2 overall because you know the history.
That's rule. You never take a running back that high.
Soon as after they have 5-6 years of their prime, and then they're getting beat up so much that they lose it. Look at Todd Gurley with the Rams. He had a great 5-6 years. Yeah. Got hurt. Look at Zeke over with the Cowboys. Zeke's done nothing since he got that check.
I don't think Zeke is finished. The Cowboys line have gotten old real fast.
Yeah.
That line has not been healthy. That's the problem. I don't care how great of a running back you are. Yeah. If your line is trash, you're not gonna look good unless you Barry Sanders.
And then the Giants, we have a problem now with Saquon because he's been injured. Next year he'll be back, but after next year we got to figure out are we paying him? And knowing with our offensive line getting better, Saquon's going to have a breakout year. The Giants are going to have to pay him, and then he's going to start dropping. That's what happens with these running backs.
Well, normally when they hit about 27 and older, that's when they start falling off.
So that's the thing. The only guys you pay is quarterbacks, offensive linemen, and edge rushers. That's it.
And cornerbacks.
Cornerbacks too, yeah. Wide receivers and running backs, nah.
Yeah. Hey, Kevin.
It's crazy.
Darnold was an interception machine from USC onward. He's always had that issue.
Let me ask you a question. And I love what Robbie is doing in Carolina. But do you honestly think that and mind you, he had a guy who was trailblazing in the mountains as his first offensive coordinator. Then Adam Gase. Let me repeat that again. A guy who the year before was literally a wild man in the woods with his offensive coordinator. Then Adam Gase. Anybody would be throwing interceptions like that. But the weird thing I don't get about Jets fans is this. They say, oh, Sam Darnold is a really good quarterback. He just needs to go somewhere else with good coaching. And it's like, well, no, why don't we just bring the good coaching here? Sam Darnold would be a really good quarterback.
Guillermo, how are you? Man, Guillermo, I lit a candle. Great show tonight. Kudos to you. Coach Color Block, that was electric, man. I could not stop watching it. And then when that screen went black, in the back channel, I contacted you, but my heart went. And I was like, oh, God, oh, God, oh, God. But when you came back, but I got so scared, man.
The issue was that, it was just quick, right? Because the thing about it is that what he did is that he was taking it straight from MSG website, like the replay, versus I actually cut up the clips, right? So whatever they were probably
see the commercials.
So, say it again.
He had commercials. Was that it?
Right. So it's probably feeding. So what it does, I think it feeds it was directly from the website versus if you have clips, they'll probably analyze it and be like, all right, these guys are talking through it. Okay, that's fine. Versus you're getting it straight from the website. So it seems like you're streaming it straight from the website. That's because I've done this before where I've just shown clips and nothing happens. You just can't monetize it, but that's fine. But it came back. I'm not suspended anything, but damn man, I was so pissed because like every time he was talking, man, like about like the plays and stuff, man, I was just like, I was crazy excited, man. I love that. I don't know. I just like that. I'm nerdy with that type of stuff. Just to hear like coaches like break down and stuff that it's like, oh, that makes sense. Oh man, that looks cool. You know what I mean? So.
But you also should be happy because so much of what he says validates what you've said in the past.
I mean, some of it. So the triangle stuff, yeah, but then he pointed out the 1-4 play stuff, and I was like, oh, okay, that's different from a horns play because the guys play up a little bit closer to the wing and stuff like that. So again, I joke around when I say the validation stuff. I'm
saying it without you having to say it because I follow you so closely.
Thank you. But I mean, again, I'm learning a lot from a lot of people, so it's just fun to watch this stuff and to have a coach,
Hey, so like do you mind? We're gonna kick it off. We're gonna be talking. We'll go around the horn. But Guillermo, do you mind if we
Freezy?
Yo,
what's going on, big dog?
What's good, everybody?
How you doing, Freezy?
Yo, Freezy, what's up with that throw up shirt? What do you got on, man?
Well, you about to jump out and beat up somebody, man.
Hey, I ain't going.
I love Freezy. I'm joking with you, Freezy. I love you.
Man, I'm a puppy dog, man. I'm a puppy dog, man. Nah, man, I'm on break in the car, just chilling out, man. Just rocking with y'all, man. I had to get my fix, man. I'm a fan of the show, just like everybody else. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
and we're a fan of you.
Yeah, well, we're all fans of each other. Then
yeah,
and
crazy, man, crazy.
Knicks talk in. So I'm excited about Wednesday.
Man, I don't think I'm gonna be able to sleep Tuesday night.
Yeah, man.
I'm gonna have to take a nice long nap during the day, just so I can be up all night. Cause I got a feeling we're gonna be in for a treat.
Yeah, man.
I don't see us losing. Me personally, I feel like we're gonna win.
I think so.
I'm excited for the game, and then I'm excited a few days after that. Then it's 1 day on, waiting 1 day off. So there's not, that in between of 3 or 4 days. So we're going to have a lot to talk about on, it's just going to be great.
Fellas, I got to get this one out of me, man. I got to get this one out of me because I've been like, it's so refreshing, man, when, you look up Knicks news, and I've been looking up Knicks news, man, for probably, years. And normally I go on Pro Sports Daily. I don't know if you guys know about that. That's a very good website. They get a lot of stuff before ESPN gets it. You know what I mean? And man, to see now when I look up Knicks news and I'm seeing positive articles about our Knicks, man, it's like that feeling like you forgot how this felt. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm excited, man. I'm excited. Now I'm gonna let you go because there's a bunch of stuff I've been reading and that I'll bring out and stuff. But yeah, I'm excited, man.
I wanted to say something too, just interject before I jump off and let y'all eat. I think there are so many storylines that are not being touched on that it's impossible for us to cover them all in like a 3-hour show. Like the storylines of Emmanuel Quickly. That's one. That's the easy one, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we're also looking at stuff like R.J. Barrett's free throws.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's a story in itself.
Emmanuel Quickly's defense on a guy that averaged 20 points a game.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? The Cleveland backcourt went 5 for 20 and 1 for 6 from 3.
Yeah,
and we're not touching on Quickly's defense. We're touching on what he brought, offensively. And how does that impact the minutes that Austin Rivers gets?
wow.
We hadn't seen Austin Rivers yet. You know what I'm saying? And is it fair for Austin Rivers to come in day one without us seeing him in training camp and get the lion's share of the bench minutes?
Well, according to what Tip's saying, it wouldn't be fair, because he ain't played.
Right.
And condition.
And so also Thibodeau has been saying a lot of things since training camp opened, since the mics opened up. Like he legit said that Emmanuel Quickly is one of the best shooters that he's seen. Mm-hmm. And when I first heard him say that, I was like, wow, that's uncharacteristic of him. You know what I'm saying? Giving kudos to somebody like that. But he said it a second time and it was unprompted. You know, the first time they asked him about quickly. The second time, it was like, you know, wow, he just blurted that out of the blue. You know what I mean? And so how does that impact Alfred Payton's standing with us? Like, is Alfred Payton going to be around for the long term? You know what I'm saying? And when I say long term, I mean next year or two.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah,
I get what you're saying.
Yeah, it's a lot of. There are a lot of things that we could talk about, man. The evolution of Kevin Knox. I mean, it's unfair, in my opinion.
That's a storyline right there.
Yeah, it's unfair to just call him just a shooter, because we see other things coming along slowly in his game. So we may see Knox be an all-around player, and RJ Barrett's leadership.
If anybody can get it out of him, it'll be this coaching staff, and that's another thing we ain't talking about. We talk about Tibbs, but we ain't talking about these guys as a collective. You know what I mean, or even individually, like what they're bringing to the table. Those are storylines too. Like looking at what Johnny Bryant did with Utah and how that's going to translate, you know, with us. We ain't touch on none of that. So there's so many storylines, man. I agree with you.
We got a lot to talk about, like RJ Barrett's leadership, like how Tibbs is telling RJ Barrett and letting, because RJ Barrett was fourth in the preseason in minutes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what that shows me is that Thibodeau trusts RJ Barrett with any unit, with any personnel at any time, any game situation. You know, to be the on-floor communicator of the coaching staff. You know what I'm saying? And that may be too far. That may be looking too deep into it. But you don't play a guy in any situation with any personnel, you know what I'm saying, a guy that young, unless you trust him.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Because Knox was in the league longer than RJ, and Knox didn't play that many minutes. And that's no shade on Knox. I'm just saying it's more of giving RJ his props for being dependable, because it may go hand in hand with free throw shooting. That maybe the free throw shooting is the deal that keeps RJ on the floor. You know, or one of the things that keeps RJ on the floor. And,
I agree. I agree, Freezy.
And the other thing too is Obi Toppin has disappeared in the new flow of the offense, right? And it's one of those things. I'm not ready to hit an alarm, but you know, we need to see some Obi do some Obi stuff in this offense. Because before preseason, people were saying trade Randall and start Obi.
True.
Right? People were like, "Oh, Randall's got to go, run him out of town." You know, and now, you know, we see Obi's not, you know,
he's a project.
He's not getting in when he fits in yet. So
I wouldn't say he was a project. I'm just saying his assist numbers are nice. His passing is very good. Him and like Randall's scoring numbers have gone down, but his assist numbers are going up. And I think it's that they're using Randall and Obi in that kind of like was it Joakim Noah type of role where they're passing off the high post.
I think it's a combination of things.
A lot more of that's going to happen. Like Obi's probably going to have. I could see Obi averaging like 12 and 5. The way he's going to be used, and Randall's assist numbers are going to go through the roof. Like Randall. Yep.
Yeah, I was just going to say, just real quick. Again, shout out to the chat. Delano Steele, special shout out to you, man. Alex Rodriguez, Jarrell Williams, Jeremy D. Jones, etc. You know what I'd like to do? I'd like to build on Guillermo, what Legion of Knicks podcast tonight. Some really enlightening things came out from the discussion with Coach Color Blocks, and especially his assessments of both DSJ and Frank. And I'd like to talk about that because I think they're really, really accurate. And also, I'll start off with this that hasn't, you know, we Freeze just talked about quickly, and that everyone was saying, man, you know, we need a point guard and all this other stuff. There was out of the New Orleans this morning. There was an article. Kyrie Lewis should start in the G League.
Wow.
And that obviously you have Lonzo, and behind him you have Eric Bledsoe. And they're just saying with that lineup and the kid, he can shoot okay, but they draft him as a point guard, and very similar, I think, to DSJ. he has to learn to be a point guard, and he needs the minutes to learn that. So
That's terrible.
How would the Knicks fans feel if we took him at 8 and then realized that, oh my man, we have a DSJ situation here where he's athletic, he has blazing speed, but he can't run a set. He can't, he doesn't have the vision yet, just, all these other things. So when I saw that, I was like, whoa. And then when I heard Guillermo's podcast tonight, Guillermo, if you don't mind, could you just talk about, each player in the discussion that you had with Coach Colorblocks on their his assessment of why DSJ is DSJ, and what his, and the same thing with Frank, and and we're freestyling tonight, so there's no game to talk about, no players assessments, so we're gonna whatever hits any of you, and also obviously the live chat. We're all part of the family, so let us know topics, questions, etc. But I really think it's a great way to start, because I think he hit the nail on the head. Both of you did about so we're talking about Rivers, but there's a really good chance that he talked about Rivers too. So take it, Guillermo, if you don't mind.
Yeah, I mean, especially with DSJs, I think it's everything that I won't say naysayers, but people that have been concerned with DSJ been talking about the fact that, again, outside of that, his athleticism, right? He doesn't really have true guard skills, right? They were poorly developed. He is a product, unfortunately, of the I don't say poisonous, but the broken AAU system, where basically these kids are not being developed; they're just being showcased at whatever skills that basically were more dominant than a bunch of kids are going to become accountants and doctors and whatever. High school players and stuff. So, with DSJ, obviously after he had the 2 injuries and then he has a back injury, now unfortunately he's being exposed as like he can't, process the game at a high level, can't play off ball. He did. Coach Koba said he could dribble, but I said, his dribbling's kind of funky. You know what I mean? And I think he kind of conceded a little bit on that. That is not, when we talk about Trae Young, that's something that, because of the lack of athleticism, right before, he talked about how he had a great burst, and also, his attitude. So I forgot that DSJ got suspended or sent home early from the Mavericks. And so he's talking about basically his attitude has always been, bad. And I know about the issues at NC State that, he wasn't seen as a leader, had a bad attitude at NC State. Comes to the Mavericks, had a high usage his rookie year. Luka comes. And so I didn't know this, that it was that he asked, or no, sorry. He basically gave an ultimatum, or not ultimatum. He pushed the coach to say that he wanted the ball more. That he wanted the ball in his hands while playing with Luka, and they basically like, are you going to play with Luka at the rate you're at, which I think was only, it was not only, it was 24% usage that second year. First year was 29%, and he wasn't down with it. So they traded, they sent him home, traded him off obviously to the Knicks, and now you've seen that his athleticism is kind of dead. You know what I mean? It's he's a lost player, and so he said, Coach Colorblocks said that DSJ is going to have a, what is it, coming to Jesus? What is it?
It's a coming to God moment where basically Tibbs is going to have to talk to him that either you do this or, learn Chinese.
Right. And that seems to be the case with DSJ. And, we talk about all these other guys, but DSJ, because of, Quickly's assumed, ascendance right now. I think Quickly's going to be a good player. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying, everyone's hyping out now, so I'm just joking. But, Quickly kind of pushes DSJ out because Quickly, plays well in the system. Then with Frank, he talked about the same thing with Frank, that, when you look at him, the only real discernible skill Frank has to depend on his defense, right? He's kind of funky when he moves, kind of slow feet, can't shoot, he doesn't have really good dribble. He doesn't operate in fast break. He said, he did the same thing Chuck says, so I have to give credit to Chuck. Chuck said this, find me any clips where you find Frank Ntilikina lead a fast break. And it's like, well, that's actually kind of true. So,
and we got on that point, we got to give a shout out to our guy Chuck, Charles B. Chuck.
Screw Chuck, man. Chuck, when you see me coming, I'm joking. Obviously, I'm joking.
Know.
But I know because Chuck during the show kept texting me on Twitter, and he was like, "Oh, but I said yesterday that DSJ, I'm like, Chuck, are you trying to concede behind the scenes? Like when I wasn't at the Knicks that night." Like you're not slick. Like do this when we're all together, so you can loosen me on DSJ. But altogether, look, on Frank and
questioned
DSJ,
Chuck's fanhood last night.
I missed it.
I don't even know if you are a Knicks fan because I have yet to hear Chuck say anything positive about one play on the Knicks that lasts more than 24 hours.
So he liked DSJ. He liked
For like a day.
I think he likes RJ Barrett.
I would on DSJ.
He likes Randall.
He likes Randall. Oh, yeah, he likes Randall. He likes Randall. He likes RJ. Yep, he does. If you find him on Twitter, he talks about.
I've seen him say negative things about RJ.
There are negative things about RJ.
I'm not saying there aren't, but I don't think he's high on RJ.
No.
I don't think he's high on anybody.
No. RJ, Randall, DSJ, and then I don't know who. I don't think he's big on Mitch, but yeah, he's working right now.
He ain't big on Mitch.
No, he's not big on Mitch. Yeah.
Listening to him talk, he always say he's concerned about him.
Yeah, but Chuck did say, show me some footage of Frank bringing up the ball or starting a fast break, and Coach Colorblocks said the same thing tonight. So that's why I'm just saying a shout out for Chuck, man.
Oh, wait, hold on. Can I just say one thing that Coach Colorblocks said that I loved, and I can't wait till these two go at it? He said Randall at many times was posting empty stats.
Uh-huh.
I think everyone said that. A little bit. That's like a common thing.
No. Not in this chat.
No, God.
I say that all the time. That was one of my biggest arguments against God of Moses and Elijah.
Rob,
all right. Kevin, you know what?
Eat that one up.
My bad, Kevin. God, Moses, Elijah says it so much that it feels like that it's characteristic of this whole chat. But I apologize. It's actually just God of Moses, Elijah.
It's just him.
I apologize.
I'm like, Randall does not contribute anything to winning.
I think him and Rob is the two.
Chuck, and then Sim's big on Randall, but Sim's honest. Sim's honest about the positive stuff, and Sims knows the negatives too. Sim's a little bit more higher than the rest of us are in Randall. I'm getting a little bit higher in Randall now because I see him playing a lot better. I see him playing defense and passing the ball.
With the team. Playing
He's playing within the system. I mean, that's
he's not breaking the system.
The thing about
Randall is that Randall could have been doing some of this stuff, with, not to say that it's not better with the system, but some things that we're seeing with regards to this coaching, because if you look at some of the movements from last year, not to say we're running the triangle to this degree and we look this good now we do with Tibbs in a small sample, obviously. Randall had looks last year where he could have made these passes. Now, again, it's on those guys that make the shot. But again, for all of us know basketball, we know when a good pass, whether it's an assist or not, right? Mm-hmm. Hey, if you missed a shot, I mean, it was a potential, you messed it up, but that was a great pass by Jokic. That was a great pass by Curry. That was a great pass. So Randall could have been doing this. So he's very fortunate that he found a coach that put him in the right position and that has a cachet to push him to make these passes.
Yeah, a coach that's going to change the narrative on him. That's actually going to make him more money.
And I think
when it comes time for him to get a contract, the next contract, because he won't be a one-trick pony.
And I think what benefits from him now, I don't think he's the number one option. I think they've given RJ the number one option and Randall's number two.
I really don't think we got a number one on this team.
Yeah, it's not really number one and number one. That's why I said we gotta be careful how you look with Quickly, right? It's not that Quickly is, he's that point guard, right? A person, if I saw somebody that's like, that's that point guard, that's like, okay, that's Ja Morant. Ja Morant goes in any system, he's killing. Ja Morant is just that guy. Westbrook, I say, but Curry, the Dame Lillards, right? They can supersede any system regular season wise. They can carry on the backs just because of their talent, their raw talent, just waking up, right? Is that Quickly and these guys, they fit a system, right? So there's not going to be a number one. Like Randall might be the most impactful player and be the second leading scorer on the team. You know what I mean? Like it's just how they fit the system. Quickly, again, fits that system. If you look at what Tibbs does in a triangle, again, go look at videos of guys like Kirk Heinrich. Go look at how he used Jimmy Butler on the strong side, right? Driving to the basket. You know what I mean? Drawing fouls, slowing the tempo up, controlling the game when the other team goes on a 10-0 run, right? But when you look at Quickly by itself, you would never say, and say Quickly does that to a high level, you never say, Quickly is one of the top 10 point guards, but it's like he fits that system to an F&T. Carlos Boozer, or Joe Camille was a little bit different because that year he was absurd. But a guy like even Jimmy Butler back then, you would have never said Jimmy Butler on those Bulls teams was a top 5 shooting guard. At the time, granted, he was great for that, but he was great for that system. And that's how we got to look at it. Are these guys great for the system, right? Yeah. DSJ isn't, but Randall can be if he buys into it, right? He even had a pass.
But
I didn't
you
even
know
go, Joe. Let me just give one example. He had a pass last game, right? That was supposed to go to somebody in the corner.
It was to Knox, right? It was the one to Knox where Knox was open.
Is the one that he missed? Is the one Knox missed? Or like it went out of bounds, but it was a good play?
No, there was a play I seen where Randall had the ball and Knox was wide open in the corner and he looked him off and then he tried to pass the ball to RJ and it got turned over.
Oh no, it wasn't that. But
I think it was the second game against the Pistons. I think it was the second.
No. It was so this one was the fourth game preseason. But you saw what that pass for, and it was just that he passed a little bit too, it was too energetic. You know what I mean? But everything you saw about it is like you get mad at Randall because like, damn it, dude, you could have been doing those type of passes last year, bro. So again, let me not over talk, but to me, it's all.
No, you're not over. That's what tonight. But as we said, sometimes 2 seconds holding that ball, two extra seconds that Randall does is the difference between a guy being open and. So that's why with Tibbs and whether him kicking it out in the stuff that you were showing today, whether it was quickly, whether it was Bullock's 3, that if he continues that type of ball on and I think Freezy touched on it, the impact of coaching. I think last season with Fizz that Randall was like, I'm the head dude in charge here. I'll do what the hell I want. I don't trust the other guys on this team. So instead of me kicking out, I'm going to do it. I'll take it and I'll go ISO on it.
That's what Tibbs allowed him to do. Because think about it, Tibbs allowed all them guys the first year to freelance when he came in there. So them guys never had a system.
You mean Fizz?
Tibbs.
That's not true.
Under Fizz. Them boys were freelancing a lot. It was a lot of dribble handoffs.
That's what I think Fizz drew up was dribble handoffs at the top of the league.
That's not true. So Nick G, salute to Nick G. I think he's working right now. He pointed out in 2018 when Fizzo got there, Fizzo was trying high-level things. It's just that the kids weren't buying into it, right? Nick G, I'm not stealing this from Nick G said this. He said Fizzo was trying things like the Spanish pick and roll, right? Setting a pick for a picker, right? And if you watch the Spanish pick and roll, it is they talk about Houston doing it last year. It is I won't say complicated. It has some nuance to it, but if you pull it off correctly, I'm sorry, my bad, Steve.
No, you have to be disciplined to run that.
Right. And it's like when you, again, these kids, when you don't have cachet, if you're not a Phil Jackson or one of these top level coaches where everybody has to follow your command or else, Fizzo comes in and think about it, is that he wasn't a teacher like Tibbs. Probably people just saw him as, I guess, gift and a curse, right? Everybody likes Fizzo. Yeah, he's that guy, but you won't listen to him because he's not disciplinarian, right? So they're trying to run things, but the kids, again, low IQ, right? Naturally low IQ to relatively speaking, right? Some guys are going to be high IQ, but young guys typically going to be low IQ basketball-wise when they get to NBA. They couldn't buy into it. Fizzo didn't want to sit there and take the time to truly teach them. So he just said, hey, like you said, dribble handoff and simple pick and roll. And
Guillermo, you can have coaches that can't coach young players, and they're good for coaching veterans. And that's what that's what Fizz was, because everybody keep talking about how he developed players, but LeBron and them boys was already – them boys was on his team. So he didn't develop that. And then he went to Memphis. Them boys was already seasoned. Conley and Zebo and them boys wasn't no rookies. So all this talk about, honestly, Fizz should have never got that job with New York. He should have never got the job. Tibbs should have got the job then, or it should have went to Mark Jackson, somebody who we know can develop a young team.
But Ron, we all know why Fizz got the job. Fizz got the job because they were going to try and attract free agents, and they knew he was a player's coach.
Yeah, and that kind of stuff. We see how that work out.
He was a pushover.
We see how that work out. But it was something I was, when we was talking about Jimmy Butler, and talking about quickly in the sense of being system players, and even Rondo. I think about Rondo. When Rondo came in the league playing for Boston, they were saying, was it the system for Rondo? Rondo adapted to that system, and then what happened? Rondo became a system all to himself. Same thing with Jimmy Butler, because think about it. Jimmy Butler is a system. Every place Jimmy Butler has been, even Minnesota with the turmoil they had, the team played better with Jimmy. Jimmy just got frustrated with them guys because them guys didn't want to work like he worked.
Same thing happened in Philly with him.
The biggest disappointment, the biggest hurt that happened with Philly was losing Jimmy Butler. That team's identity changed once Jimmy Butler got out the building.
Mhm.
So much so that Joel Embiid looked like he wanted to cry when Jimmy left. You know what I mean? And then look what he did in Miami. Miami would not have been Miami without Jimmy Butler.
No.
And I dare anybody to say otherwise. That team would not have been this year what they've been without Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler was the perfect person for that team. And Guillermo, I've heard you say that too. That Jimmy Butler was the perfect player for that team. Because he's a culture setter, man. When he stepped in the building, he's a culture setter. And that's what I'm seeing in this young fella we got. He's somebody who's gonna come in, he's gonna buy in, and he's gonna buy in so much that the coach gonna take recognition on him, and he's gonna look at the other 14 guys on the roster and say, "Hey, if you ain't working like this guy working, we having a problem." And that's what quickly doesn't earn my respect with.
And the thing with Jimmy Butler was too, Miami put because if Jimmy Butler come to the Knicks, it'd have been good, but he wouldn't have been what he was. The thing with Miami was they put the right players around him, which is a bunch of shooters. And they let him dictate him more or less run the offense with shooters around him.
Duncan,
Hero.
Jimmy don't really care about scoring.
Even none can shoot.
He really cares about getting everybody else involved. True team player, man. That's what you want.
Who else was there? Crowder, Bam could shoot. There was just that whole team could shoot.
Well, that's the genius of Pat Riley.
Right.
True.
Mm-hmm.
Start at the top.
That man, since he left the Knicks, he's built the Heat, 4 times already since he's left the Knicks.
And they all have different playing styles, man.
Yeah.
To me, I think he's the best. He's the best front office guy in basketball, man. Because
I think the guy's name is Andy Eisenberg. It's his right-hand guy.
And I'm gonna tell you why I would put him up there as the top. Is because he always seemed to do more with less. He always seemed to do more with less, man.
Yeah,
I mean,
no one had put that Miami team in the finals.
Yeah.
No one.
I'm not sure if I could put him over Buford and Jerry West just yet, man.
But look what Buford have had. RJ Buford have had some. He got guys that's all stars and Hall of Famers. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's in San Antonio.
But still, I mean, your roster is what it is.
Yeah, but all those guys
look how many Hall of Famers that came through there.
Yeah, and Jerry West is a snake.
Yeah,
they drafted. I give him credit on that, but those guys are Hall of Famer to the point that I'm proving. When you look at what Pat Riley been working with, how many Hall of Famers he's
LeBron James, Chris Bosh, Dwayne Wade.
LeBron, yeah.
He got those guys being traded.
And that was one team together.
Yeah, but that was one team. Then he got D-Wade. He got D-Wade as a rookie. Brought Shaq in when the Lakers thought he was about finished. That's why they let him go and kept Kobe. Because Kobe was a younger dude.
Name me the Hall of Famers that the San Antonio Spurs brought over as a free agent that carried that team. Those are all draft picks. That's all organic. No one wants to go to
draft pick wise. It depends on how you're looking at it, though, Guillermo. If you're looking at it from the standard of draft players, is a no-brainer. Is San Antonio. But if I'm looking at it from the sense of building something from bottom, I'm going with doggone. I'm going with Pat, man. And then just think about this: San Antonio has had one coach for as long as some of these guys who just started rooting for the Knicks. You know what I mean? As young as some of these Knicks fans are, Pop has always been there. That's who they know for San Antonio. Look how many coaches Pat Riley had. Matter of fact, Pat Riley came from out of the coaches block. Not just Spoelstra. He had Van Gundy, Stan Van Gundy. He had him too.
Van Gundy. But they didn't.
And he brought himself from being the president and came down and coached the team and won the title.
There's a big
I don't know. If I'm San Antonio,
I mean, that's a lot, man.
San Antonio is not a destination, so it's not a place where free agents are going to go.
Oh yeah,
right?
true indeed. Yeah, it ain't no.
So if you're talking about if I gave you Pebbles and you gotta cook me a soup, right? You don't have a place that no one wants to go to San Antonio, except for LaMarcus Aldridge for some weird reason. And you're talking about drafting players, and you literally had the same coach for all these years. That means that you built that all that's organic. If you have the same, that's like Bill Belichick, right? If you have the same coach for all those years, that means you are doing something right. Now, obviously, you had Stan Van Gundy and then Pat and then Spoelstra. But let's be honest, Spoelstra for a while was basically Pat Riley's speaking channel, whatever you want to call him, right? You know what I mean? Popovich, him and Buford, no one is going there. So every year drafting, let's be honest, they replenish. Think about this. your boy Tony Parker, 2nd round pick, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Manu
Ginobili
Ginobili,
first.
one of the late first was it? My bad. Manu Ginobili, 2nd rounder, one of the most underrated shooting guards. He's probably gonna be probably rated now. But when we talk about championships going against those demons like the freaking Lakers back in the day, those Bohemians, you talking about getting those guys, and then you're gonna replenish it with a pick in Kawhi Leonard, who was raw as hell coming out of San Diego State.
Trade for him.
I think
Trade
you're looking at it
for him
from two
too.
different lenses, man. I'm looking at it from a different lens than you.
I'm looking at the same lens as you. Development.
I'm looking at it in both ways. You talking about from the organic side of drafting. I mean, it's a no-brainer what they've done drafting players. That San Antonio organization ain't going overseas and getting players. But I'm talking about what Pat Riley has been able to do, not only with getting in free agents. That's another thing. Think about how many teams that get free agents in and be like, oh man, i.e. us. How many times we got free agents that be like, man, why we spend our money on this one? But every time Pat Riley get a free agent in there, it's the right one to go with that culture.
Okay,
well,
Ron,
But he can get free agents.
It's two different
San
lenses.
Antonio can't get free agents. You prove my point. Think about
Miami
this.
We're looking at two different lenses.
You have one avenue to build, and you've been that successful through one avenue because no one's going to San Antonio. These dudes will go to Miami and get it on because you know what Miami is going to Miami. San Antonio, like Charles Barkley said,
they got Aldridge in the trade, and they re-signed him.
That's a 1B-ish at the time level player. Other than that, what other big time?
That boy was an all-star, man, in his prime when he went
fair enough. But
and was the number one option. Don't poo-poo Aldridge now. Aldridge was an all-star.
Don't change the argument.
Kevin's
Lamar
going to
Jackson's a great player. Do not get a good player, but
I ain't changing the argument. Like I said, we just looking at it from two different lenses, man. But I gotta agree with you. If I'm looking at it on face value, the number one coach and organization is San Antonio.
Yeah.
But Pat Riley and what he's done with that Heat team over all these years, man, like to Joe Madden's point, it's been something remarkable because that thing, every time it looked like they were down, they come out of nowhere and come back.
Miami don't rebuild; they reload. They're like the Yankees. They go down a little bit, but they always come back up. They don't go down into a full rebuild where they clean house.
Yeah. Don't you think the genius though of Riley is that he brings in players that he knows that's going to fit into his system? Sometimes you see, teams bring in players and put them in systems that are not taking advantage of their strengths.
And you know what, Stephen Fox, I'm gonna tell you this. We can go all the way back to the Lakers day, and I gotta salute you on bringing that point up because this ain't just something that started in Miami. This was going on with the Lakers. When he went to the Lakers, he turned that Lakers Showtime into what it was. It wasn't Showtime before he got there. When he got Magic out of the draft as a rookie, that thing just took off. James Worthy and them guys. Then what did he do when he came to the Knicks? Made us a powerhouse until he left. And Jeff Van Gundy, thank goodness, kept that thing going. Why it kept going? Because basically it was an extension of Pat Riley, even though Pat Riley had done moved on. Yeah. We were running the same system.
Hey, Kevin, you're going to take it in a second. Just a real quick, I just wanted to do a quick shout out. Anudi 25, Yonkers Biggs, Tony Curry, Andre Bryant. Thank you as always for doing it. So salute to that chat. Please hit those likes, subscribes, and reminder buttons. We're up to 900. Hold on, let me just see. We're up to 970 subscribers, man. We're 30 away from giving Freezy that Christmas present that he so deserves. You know the grind. That guy put on a marathon last night, and he's on this morning. He's the hardest working dude. I worry about him.
Yeah, man. He need to get his rest, man.
He needs to get his rest, but let's reward him for his devotion to his family. And also shout out to the greatest mod the Lord's ever made, Sima Bodega, New York Knicks. Your efforts, as always, are greatly appreciated. And again, check out Knicks Morning Drive. This morning, one of my favorite people, Ghetto Intellect, was on. Always get wisdom from the man. So thank you, chat. So again, please hit the like, subscribe, and reminder buttons, and let's get that 970 up to 1,000 for our guy Freezy. Kevin, it's all yours. Sorry.
No. I just what I was gonna say is, to me, the hardest thing in sports isn't getting to the top of the mountain; it's staying at the top of the mountain. And the fact that for 20 years, San Antonio was probably a top 3 seed not just making the playoffs, they were a top seed every single year for 20 years. And it's not like Miami, where Miami would go up and they'd have some seasons. They might win a championship. Like they won a championship in 06. They kind of went back down. Then they brought in like LeBron and Chris Bosh, and then was obviously at the top, and then kind of had some mediocre years. San Antonio, you could literally say for 20 years, every single year it was a championship contender. And that's just a tribute to what R.C. Buford and Coach Pop did. Is it's not even through the draft. They brought in players that fit, like the Leandro Barbosas and who else did they bring in?
Thiago Splitter.
Sean, what was it? Guy?
Steven Jackson.
Was it Sean Elliott?
Sean Elliott. Yeah,
Sean
Sean
Elliott
Elliott was on that team too.
You know, they brought in players
Steve Kerr.
over the years to fill in the holes to maintain that level of sustainability and success over the years. There was never a significant drop off with San Antonio. Like Miami has always ebbs and flows since Pat Riley's been there. I mean, the highs have been high, but you know, since like I said, when did Pat Riley get there? 95? No, 95.
What year did he leave the Knicks?
95.
Via fax.
95?
Was that 99? No.
No, that was 95. I think it was 95.
He was gone before then.
I think it was after Patrick Ewing missed the finger roll. I think it was 95. But that's 25 years. So in 25 years, Riley has won 3 championships compared to R.C. Buford and Greg Popovich 5. So that right there pretty much says that.
Yeah, having Tim Duncan and David Robinson, yeah, that'll do it for you.
So, I mean, it's kind of
I mean, they're the gold. They are the gold standard. I mean, make no mistake about it. But Pat Riley, if somebody tell me if I ain't got Pop, who I'm going to go get after Pop? I'm going to get Pat Riley, man, because that thing out in Golden State, for as nice as that engine was, you know what I mean? We know they cheated when they got it was like 2K once they got Kevin Durant over there. That wasn't even. I'll tell y'all, man, that was the closest I came to not even watching basketball no more for a minute, because I was like, there's no fun knowing who's gonna get to the finals. There's no fun even watching that.
That's Jerry West. He's a snake. He done it with the Lakers. He's like he could be in trouble now with that thing with Kawhi. Like everywhere he goes, he always he finesses superstars to wherever he goes.
Yesterday's episode.
Riley came here 91-92 to the Knicks.
Did y'all catch the end of yesterday's episode?
High school.
Which, say that again, Kev?
No.
I said, did y'all catch the end of yesterday's episode when I was giving it to Nick G?
Nah.
What time was that? 6 o'clock in the morning?
It was like 4:30. It was like 4:15 all the way to like 5 o'clock.
Nah,
man, you guys, man.
We was out at it.
Everybody just shake his head like that sleep is just getting good at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, you.
At 5 o'clock, I was like, all right, I got to go.
Deep red.
We're going to keep it rolling. I'm like, y'all keep it rolling. I got to go. But, and the funny thing is, there was still like 100. There was still like 130 people watching the show at like 5 a.m.
Well, I tell you what, Kevin, you was amped up like you was when you first came in.
Oh boy!
I was just cracking up.
I want y'all to follow me when I say this, and I was gonna say the same disclaimer as I did last night. I am not sitting here and I'm saying that we're going to have the long-term success that this team had when I make the comparisons. But if you look at the 2011 Golden State Warriors, they had a really, really young Steph Curry. They had I think Klay Thompson was going in his second year. They didn't even have Draymond Green. Their leading scorer, people don't know this, was David Lee. And they had Monte Ellis.
Yeah, David Lee was a stud, man.
So they went into the season. They were 23-43, I think, that year. They hired Mark Jackson. They traded Monte Ellis. Let's see if y'all follow me with this. Traded Monte Ellis. They drafted Draymond Green and Harrison Barnes, but kept Draymond Green on the bench, and David Lee was still the starter. And they still had Klay and Steph. That year, the first year under Mark Jackson, they went 47 and I forget what it is, 47 or something.
What year was that?
This is 2000. Well, now this is the 2012, 2013 season.
Okay.
David Lee was still their leading scorer. Draymond Green didn't even start. He came off the bench behind David Lee. They lost in the second round. Now, I'm saying this is if any of this sounds familiar to the 2011 to 2012 Golden State Warriors, so what the Knicks are doing now. Because mind you, they had just hired Bob Myers, who before was a GM was what? A super agent.
Yeah, a super agent.
Hired Mark Jackson, who developed these young players into the champions. I mean, even though they didn't win the championship, but he developed and set the culture for them to be champions. I'm just saying that the similarities between that, and again, I say that we're not going to be Golden State because, and some people in Nick G was like, that's just that was just like winning the lottery would happen with Golden State. But my argument with him was at the time was, and like I bring up with Guillermo all the time, that winning and development can go hand in hand because they were young and still learning how to play basketball, but yet were still able to win at the same time. And I don't think if you asked anybody 9 years ago if Golden State Warriors would be the dynasty that they became, Golden State Warriors fans would laugh in your face because they had spent 20, 30 years losing too.
Well, they were trash.
Yeah, but it's funny. It's a blast from the past. Some names. Here's funny. Harrison Barnes was on there. Kent Bazemore, Andre Beardrins, Andrew Bogut, Steph Curry, Festus Ezeli, Draymond Green, Jarrett Jack, Richard Jefferson, Charles Jenkins, Dwayne Jones, Carl Landry, David Lee, like he said, Scott Machado, Brandon Rush, Malcolm Thomas, Klay Thompson, and Jeremy Tyler.
See, the thing that you said that connects with them too is none of their picks were top picks. They were all in or around like the mid lottery, like between Steph was 8 and Klay was like the 11th or something.
Yeah, and that was Klay's first year.
Yeah, and then you said the comparison of like David Lee starting and Draymond off the bench. That's like random Nobi.
I'm gonna tell you, man. I think the best thing that happened to us is having Tibbs come in here, man. Timing. Everything in sports is always about timing. And
best thing that happened to us, I think, was not getting KD and Kyrie because then the organization realized we have to build this thing through the draft because we ain't getting nobody.
Going long haul, like I said, but them guys, their shelf life might be 3 to 4 years tops. Then that team is going to be rebuilding.
Yeah, big time.
But with Klay, they're going to be stuck with Klay's contract now because. Well, see, the thing with Klay is at least he's not built off his athleticism, so at least he can still shoot. But he's just not going to be. He'll be a good player, but he's not going to be the player he was. But for that contract,
these are 2 bad injuries, man, to try to come back from.
Yeah, he's a very lucky man. He signed that contract.
I hate that for him, man. You know what? Klay having a year like basically what Cousins went through, 2 back-to-back years where he's gonna be out of basketball.
John Wall too.
Yeah, same things, man. I hate to see great players. I don't care, they might not play for the Knicks, man, but I don't want to see any player career get cut by no injuries, man. I don't like seeing that.
Clay's going to be the same. Yeah. Clay's the same thing as John Wall. It's like he's signed that big 4-year contract, and he hasn't played a game under it yet.
And you know what else? He's a guy that ain't going to be broke. You know how they talk about athletes that went broke after basketball? He ain't going to be one of them because his dad taught him right. His dad told him, he said, hey, when he got his first contract, he said, you need to set yourself an allowance.
Mm-hmm.
Monthly stipend of what you're going to spend because it ain't going to always be coming in.
Yeah, because you have these guys that go out and party, and then like they get these big contracts, but then when they retire, a lot of them go into broadcasting and stuff because they don't have the money.
Exactly.
Yeah. But that's a great segue. That I think the statistic is 80% of NBA players 5 years after they retire file for bankruptcy.
Well, that's crazy to think.
Wow,
that's crazy.
It's almost the same statistic for the NFL.
That is crazy,
and it's frightening. And one of the things that on Guillermo's show tonight was Coach Colorblocks talking about how AAU has killed these kids, and that the problem that was embedded. The reason DSJ is DSJ is that they basically said you're a street baller, be a street baller. So all these kids are blowing out knees at 18 because all they want to do is dunk.
The highlights. Yeah,
exactly. So I think there's a disease, and I'm an older guy, and so it was normal. In my day, kids spent 3 or 4 years in college, and then they went to the NBA. So they gained maturity. They learned the game. And also, it was funny about coaching and stuff. All of you have heard this. I heard a guy talking about his experience at Syracuse, and they asked him about Boeheim, and he was like, I only saw him on game day, man. My life as a college basketball player was strictly with assistant coaches.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and the only time I saw the head coach was to come in that morning or that day, that afternoon or the night, and talk to him. So everyone that always says these coaches, the assistant coaches.
man. Let me tell you, I saw that stuff firsthand with my nephew, man. When he came up here, his traveling team played at USC Aiken, and I'm sitting there. And I go in the building, I'm expecting to see some, high level basketball, man. And I sat there and I watched them guys, man, me and my brother-in-law, and I literally was sick. I was like, this ain't nothing but glorified pickup game. That's what it looks like. Glorified pickup game. I'm not talking about any other AAU, because we might have some AAU coaches that, be in the chat, but I'm talking about what I saw. It wasn't no fundamental stuff being taught and none of that. Everybody was just running up and down the court like racehorses.
And the NBA, look, they should like the NFL, where these kids should be mandatory to do 2 or 3 years, but they gone backwards, and now they're letting them come out straight out of high school, so it's only going to get worse.
Yeah, and then the sad thing is you set these guys up really for failure because they haven't learned their craft. Then they go into college where they're promoting all this one and done mess, and they jump out of college, don't know how to run an offense, depending on athleticism, and then when that athleticism gone, what you got?
Ron, they're cattle.
Yeah, you're right. That's all it is. That's all it is. And that the NCAA is like vultures, man.
You think about
they don't care. It's money.
No, they don't. It's about the money. Exactly.
They make all this money
I'll
for
send
their
this
medical
kid to
schools
high school.
and
I'll give
everything,
him a
but
good
they don't
grade.
pay the kids. The kids should get paid.
And I'll pay your parents. Put your parents in a nice house and give you all a good job while the time you're here, and then
but
it's up
guys,
to you to make it work.
You have a lot of these kids that come out of the hood and they only know basketball, right? And they're coming out of high school, they get into the NBA.
They only know street
pick.
basketball. That's the problem.
Yeah, they're good. They're all this, that, and next thing, one of them gets a bad injury, and they have no college education, and they're coming out, and because they're in high school, like some of them might be able to learn how to write or read coming out of high school because all they're doing is playing ball. The high school don't care. They come out of high school, they go into the league. What happens to them now if they get hurt or they don't make it to a second contract? Because a lot of these high school kids aren't going to be making that crazy mad money, because a lot of these high school kids are going to be going like back end of the second round. Yeah, like I don't think the NBA guys are NBA like owners are going to want to, and GMs are going to want to draft a guy just turning 18 out of high school that can play defense street ball, but there's not much film on him.
Yeah, Robert Arohu in the chat said some deep stuff. He said in Europe, the players are 80% practice, 20% games, and here in America, AAU is 80% games, 20% practice.
Yeah,
and that's why they come so fundamentally sound to the NBA. These players from Europe.
Exactly, and those Euro guys can thank these guys over here now that they ain't being taught nothing. They running through that AAU circuit and popping in early is making them guys from Europe a lot of money.
And them guys in Europe get taken care of. Like if you have a good solid, like you have like Luka, for example, or these good solid basketball players in Europe, a lot of them get signed to, say there's Real Madrid, for example. Luka was signed at the age of 14, was put in a minor league. He was paid to practice and was put through education, and his family was taken care of. Then he was put in on a bigger contract at the age of 16 to play with the big dogs, to play with the older guys, and had a slung develop and was sent to the league. And people thought, okay, this kid's going to take a little time. He was MVP caliber player in his rookie year. That's how they develop. All the time it doesn't work out like that, but at least when the Europeans, they take care of them at a young age. They put them under a contract where they know they're getting money, because a lot of them are coming from like poor families that all they know is basketball, and they make sure that the kids get a little bit of an education.
Hey, fellas, let me ask a question. That's a great point, Joe. Do you think, and we'll take Luka as an example, Do you think that a kid who plays against men, that it's going to eventually take its toll, that he's going to still be a young guy, but all of a sudden we're going to see something happen in the number of years where his body has been taking a beating? He took, you know what it's like as you guys who played ball, when they come out, they're boys going against men.
Well, I can tell you what, I don't think it's going to hurt him, because you just made me have a flashback to when I first started playing basketball. Even on the neighborhood level, like when I was 13, I was playing with the guys 19 and 20 years old. And I remember the first game I played with these guys. I remember getting my eye busted across the top, going up for a rebound. And I remember, everybody knowing me for being able to shoot when I was real young. And in that game, when I played with these guys, man, I was like, I'm sitting out there shooting and I can't make a shot to save my life. But as I continued to play with them guys, everybody knew it, that I was so far advanced that the kids my age, when I was playing with them, it was like child's play. And so I would take a player that plays with grown men any day. Because typically, if you start playing with grown men when you're young, by the time you're playing with guys your own age, you off the porch with it.
Yeah, but you don't think there's an impact when they hit 27 and 28 that they've been banging for so many years, that even though chronologically at 27, 28 they're young, their body they've taken they're 35 from a body standpoint.
Yeah, the amount of games played can catch up to you. I mean, that's with anything that can catch up to you. But just depends on how you take care of your body.
If you have the right, now, I think that, to your point, Steve, it could go either way, right? So yeah. I agree with you that definitely agree with you that you play ball 2-3 times a day as a kid, right? I mean, you're overexerting your joints. And of course, when you're younger, testosterone, you're just, oh yeah, I'm gonna heal up. I can eat a cheeseburger and lose all the weight tomorrow. But again, on your joints, your bones, right? It starts to take its toll. Now, I will say with older guys, right? If you're playing with older guys and you have decent counsel, you might actually work on some of your softer skills a little bit more if you're just playing with younger kids where, you're at AAU and it's just dunk the ball and do all these highlights, right? Where you're just trying to, yammy it and you're getting an ACL, versus you might play in some of these leagues, especially in Europe, where your talent may not shine bright, your raw talent, but you know how to make backdoor cuts, right? Your court awareness might be a little bit better, right? As a big man, you're going to be able to space the floor a little bit better versus guys you come into the league and literally as a big man, basically pick and roll or just drive to the basket. That's why when I watch guys like, Zion Williamson in high school, not to say I didn't think Zion was going to be good, but I was like, this is
a man among boys.
Right. And if he doesn't develop, now he developed a lot of good footwork at Duke, right? His whole thing is just injuries, right? And his body just probably can't take the toll just because how he's built. But you watch these kids, and the mixtapes and stuff. So when you play against some of these older guys, I mean, Kobe Bryant, he was playing against older guys, I believe in Italy or wherever the hell he was. And you could just tell, obviously his father, he went through that, that program, to try to be MJ. But you could see it that even when he came here, what is he? He's as a rookie. I mean, you just saw who the hell is this kid? How does he know how to pick his spots on the floor?
You saw them flashes earlier.
But he also had an IQ off the chart. That guy was brilliant, man. How many languages did he speak?
6 languages.
Yeah.
6. And to Ron's point, Ron, tell me, give me, all right, the 3 best players you saw that whole game, right? Can you give me one player? Did you ever at one time said, that dude knows how to pick his spots on the court? Like he keeps going to the elbow, or he likes getting it, taking it baseline and hit that little shot on the base. Did you see that, or was it just run up?
Dunk? No, it was just run. It was just. I'm gonna tell you, man, I was sick, and it was crazy because you know what I did after that, man? I just sat there, and me and my brother-in-law was just talking, and I just couldn't wait till the game ended so I can talk to my nephew before he went with the team before they left. I was severely disappointed, man. I was like, this ain't nothing to watch here, man. This is like, matter of fact, I'm gonna tell you this. And this ain't even, some people gonna laugh at it being a joke, but I've seen them play better ball in the AN1 league than what I've seen with that AAU circuit that my nephew was playing with.
Wow.
Ali Mo and them guys, I at least seen them guys setting a pick and somebody trying to cut back though, like to Guillermo's point. I didn't see none of that. It was just racing. See if
Wait,
you can
hold
blow
on.
by your man and put him on a poster.
Hold on, Ron. Hold your point really quick. So I think Coach Colorblocks wanted to comment on us. If Freezy, if you're listening, if you want to let in Coach Colorblocks because he wants to.
I told him that earlier, Coach Colorblocks, I'd love for him to be in, but only Freezy has the key. So Freezy, if you're listening, let our guy in. So
just Freezy, just act like you're going to the bathroom. Just take a number 2 break.
Do you guys think in 2023 when they start letting these high school kids in, do you think that they're going to start using this? Like a lot of these kids are going to go into the G League and they're going to start using like a minor league system like baseball does.
Yeah, but
is that what you think? What they're trying to do?
I think it's going to be like exactly. I think it'll be like a very similar to baseball, or where they go into double A or something. But but the things that were talked about earlier tonight on Guillermo's show, it's the same thing in baseball. That these kids have tournaments, they're playing 4 games, and I saw a show like a year or so ago with Brian Gumble that there's an explosion of Tommy John surgery on these kids 15, 16 years old.
Pitching
you know why?
Early.
You also know why? I don't know. I'm not sure about the prep school stuff circuit like that. But one thing I learned as a kid, because I love baseball, right? Do not throw a curveball until you're well into your late teens, 20s, right? Yeah. Because that again, you've seen it. Little kids, they're coming in, they throwing that 12-6. And it's like, oh, that looks cool, and that's like dogs, and they get pressured by guys who are trying to push them. Say, hey, come out of high school and get drafted by this, blah blah, and they don't have good advisors to tell them like, dudes, what are you doing? You throw your fastball, throw your slider. Don't overexert yourself, don't kill yourself, because once you get those injuries, it's hard to come back from. Tommy John, hard to come back from.
And everybody don't come back from them. That's what they don't talk about.
Right. Shoulder injuries are hard to come back. Like, dogs, baseball's the worst because everything is it's an unnatural motion to keep doing this.
Pitching by just itself is an unnatural motion.
All that stress.
Freaking Sandy Koufax had to retire because they literally said, dogs, if you keep pitching, we're going to have to amputate your arm. Sandy Koufax, the greatest
tendons and everything. Yeah, you're just, especially you're throwing screwballs or you're throwing other things, man. It's such an unnatural. But it's the same thing going on these AAU kids on b-ball, man. They're playing 3 or 4 games, and then every other weekend or every weekend, and the parents are looking after it, and it's like, yo, man.
And then think about the diet too. On top of that, they're probably eating fast food, junk.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Also, Ron, another thing about Europe too, man, the way they eat, like people do not realize this, right? America, we have a legit issue. Everybody knows about this. Go and eat just the diet in like France, the diet in what they're eating for breakfast, fruit. You may have some coffee, some caffeine, a little bit here and there, maybe a little bit of bread. But you're talking about fruit, water, things that replenish you, even as a young kid. Right here in the city, growing up. Well, I went to high school out in New York, but my brother, my cousins, my friends who all went there. You're talking about eating a bacon, egg, and cheese, sausage, egg, and cheese in the morning. All that salt, all that sugar, and you're talking about that loading up on your body. That's not healthy. First, some of these kids overseas, why do you think they can play soccer till they're freaking in their 40s and they look great? Look at a guy like freaking Andres Pirlo. This guy's freaking, Like these guys look. Some of these guys get fat.
He had to come to New York to retire. I think once he got his first meal in New York, he was like, "Yeah, I'm done."
Yeah, I'm done. I'm done.
But that's the thing. Was it like growing up in Ireland? It's like the food, even it's like the McDonald's, the meat and all, and meat, vegetables, everything's so much cleaner. You come here and they're juicing up with a cow with steroids, and then because they want to make more money out of it, putting it into the meat, and then that's why you see the death toll of ages is starting to drop down again.
Joe, you just made me think the first time I went to Canada, man, when I was in the Army driving through Canada going to Ann Arbor, and the first time I ate at a McDonald's or Wendy's over there, I was like, this don't taste. This don't taste. It don't taste the same, and even the soda and stuff over there tasted different.
I went to a bachelor party trip in Montreal. I don't think I ate one healthy thing the whole weekend. not one hangover, didn't feel sick at all. I went to London. I went to London twice, and I was like, the first time I cooked eggs, I'm like, these aren't. Why is it so? It was like not brownish, but darker, and I was like, this is not like as scrambled as I liked it. It's not like, it's not as fluffy as I like it. I'm like, wow.
You're probably on Canary Wharf. I know you.
No. So I was at Tower Bridge. I was staying at a service, called a service apartment at Tower Bridge. But even go to Shoreditch, which is supposed to be like the Williamsburg of London. You go out there and you eat. I mean, London doesn't have the greatest of food. I mean, it's whatever. But you just go out there and you eat, and you don't feel the drogginess, the you know what I mean? So they're putting things in, and these kids are. You go and see some of these kids out playing ball of high school. They're drinking soda, 3 or 4 sodas in the morning.
Wow. And weird stuff. I spent time in Asia for business, and on chicken, I was like, I thought chicken was chicken, and then I found out that in America, chicken farmers feed the chicken corn. In Asia, they feed them fish feed. So you learn all these different things when you travel in the world. Like you were saying about Europe, I spent time in Barcelona, and you feel out of, because you're like, I'm the fat American, and everybody looks at you and they're like, immediately, you're American, aren't you? Before you even open your mouth.
Hey, Steve, that's just like, I don't know how many people. I know a lot of people probably love shrimp, right?
Oh,
I'm gonna tell you right now.
Farm shrimp versus wild.
You eat that stuff in the store, and I give you a bag of shrimp out of my dad's freezer from straight out of the river. You wouldn't want to buy that stuff out the store anymore.
Yeah.
And the crazy thing is like Pops taught me a trick about it, because I'm like, Dad, I said, how is it I can get your shrimp that you done marked and it's like 6 months old, and when I cook it, it's just like it just came out the water. He said, well, you know what the trick is, son? He said, when you get out the water, you got to put water in it. And once it freezes, it keeps its freshness. But like the shrimp back home where I grew up at on the coast, some of the best shrimp you'll ever taste, man. Sweet taste. It got a sweet taste to it when you cook it. That white shrimp is awesome, man. But that stuff in the store, that's trash. It's shot up with a lot of chemicals.
Yeah, I think across the board now, your vegetables you have to wash, but you don't know they're doing it. Everything, the meats, it's a scary thing. And
you go eat a cheese, like just get a pound of meat and make a burger yourself out of meat you get back in Ireland or anywhere in Europe. So much cleaner. It's like when you eat the McDonald's here, you feel kind of like, if you eat a lot of it, like you feel like drowsy and you kind of feel a little bit like sick. Over there, you could go for a 2-mile jog after eating McDonald's. Here, you want to go to sleep because it's whatever's in it is draining. That's what I've seen with a lot of like UFC fighters and boxers and stuff now are testing positive for steroids. It's the food they're eating.
Yep. Or the lack of, the supplements are coming from places that in the vat right before they made that supplement, they had no idea that was in it. I can't eat any.
Let me ask you guys a question on this to connect it back to the Knicks, right? So a guy like DSJ comes into camp. Everybody said he looked in great shape, which I don't think he is.
No. You're fat.
What? So is it that these guys don't want it? You know what I mean? What for a guy like DJ, he has to be seen that his NBA mortality at this current stage might be up, right? How long of a leash do you give a kid like that? Because you have a guy like Miles Powell is going to be sent. I know he got cut, but he's going to get sent to the G League. Right?
Yeah.
And he needs to lose weight.
Yeah.
He can lose.
A guy like DSJ, who again the skills aren't there. Amari Spellman also. Thank you, Io Power. Oh, sorry. Guys like this, shouldn't these guys be automatic cuts? Like, I don't even didn't James Johnson, when he was on the Heat, didn't they suspend him or fine him for coming in a few pounds overweight?
I think that happened to the other guy too that came with them from Syracuse. What was his name?
Derek Coleman.
The 2 guard.
Not Pearl.
The one they just recently had. That he just been a problem, just getting in trouble.
Oh, Deion Waiters.
Yeah, I think that happened to
Yeah.
him too. I think he got fined or got suspended because he came to camp not in shape.
Hey, fellas, on that topic, did your jaw hit the floor when you saw Harden? I thought it was Isaiah.
Oh
from there.
man, oh
I
man! I
thought it was
looked at him.
Hey,
You know what he looked
what
like?
the hell?
He looked like a B-list boxer, man. Like he looked like. Matter of fact, I ain't gonna even say that, man. He looked like somebody that decided they just roll out of bed and I'm gonna play basketball today.
Hey, but Ron, you know the thing about him, and now it's coming out that he's basically they allowed him to do whatever he wanted with the Rockets. He's been a nuisance for a while, coming late to every meeting. This is and the thing about him is that he's one of these guys that he thinks that he wants to get in. He gets in shape by playing ball, and then he starts to take it seriously and starts to lose weight, right? But he has to realize, okay, you can only your body's only going to hold up this long, and then when you get into your mid-30s,
Thank you,
whatever, or even early,
Hey,
that
hard to lose that weight,
all
man.
those hormones, they say night. We're gonna go at half speed. So all that fat you got for the summer, you got to work twice as hard to get it off. And that's the thing about it. That's why I respect guys like the Ray Allens, guys who came in. They made sure, okay, you can have a week, a few weeks of just picking out, just to get it out your system. That a few weeks before camp, I know I'm gonna be in perfect shape. I'm coming into camp not to get into shape. I'm coming to camp to like refine whatever, to basically get back into the basketball shape, right?
Yeah.
This guy Harden, again, he's one of these spoiled guys, and I'm telling you, he might be one of those guys that he gets traded to another place, and if they don't win, you know what I mean? Because think about this: any team that trades for a Harden, right?
Gonna rip your team apart.
That's the GM's excuse me, his butt is on the line.
Oh yeah.
And if it turns into a disaster,
Charles Barkley was saying he hopes Harden gets traded to the Nets because he wants to see that
he wants to
chaos.
Oh, that'd be something.
You forgot what else he said. We was also talking about. He said Jordan, all these other guys that were not doing this. They were coming into camp. Oh no, they were coming to they would miss maybe 1 or 2 practices here. They'll come late, but for the most part, they said like they wouldn't be doing like they didn't have this leeway like Harden does. Like this dude is really messing up. Like it was on the ESPN show with who's it?
Nichols
And the other guy, but
you talk about J. Will, Keyshawn Johnson, and that other guy.
The Indian guy.
Yeah, the other guy. I can't think of his name right now.
Nah,
me back to Harden. That's an injury waiting to happen now that he's thrown he's thrown everything off carrying that extra weight. As you know, when you get older, one of the worst things is your brain thinks you're still 17. So your brain says, it's like a boxer. The worst thing is when you see an older boxer, you see in their eyes that throw that left hand, but the body's not throwing the left hand. It's the same thing. I'm going to go left, but the body, you got that extra weight, and all of a sudden the body's not going, and the next thing you know, you have an injury.
It's like an old person trying to dance, do a young person dance, man. You look at you like, I can do that, and then you go out there, you try to, you're like, that looks simple, but the body ain't responding.
Well, what is with these guys where they see that the NBA, there's an issue in regards to kids coming in who are woefully immature and whatnot, right? And this is what I was talking about. I think I keep always saying this. Steven Jackson or Shumpert who said it. These guys don't take the game seriously. You're talking about how in the F can Amari Spellman come into camp that fat? Now people say he's the same way. Randall has bigger bones, right? So it just the frame, right, holds him, and then he has the muscle on top.
Yeah, but he just chiseled.
Does not have that frame, right?
Randall lost weight. Randall looks skinnier
now. Randall, yeah.
Spellman
was from Villanova, right?
Yes. You get the shot against UNC.
At Villanova, that they would have smacked him into sensibility that, hey, you want to be NBA ready? You can't be doing this.
But
Spellman gonna mess around and eat himself right out the league.
But you know what it is, guys? These guys, a lot of these guys, they said, are coming from the hood and they're coming in and they're getting millions of dollars in their first couple of years. So once they get that couple of million in the bank account, they don't care.
Yeah. So
then
I'm a millionaire. I don't have to learn how to go left. But you want to get a better game. No, man, I got money.
No, I got a couple of million. I'm good. That's all.
How long you got to stay in the league before you get that pension? How many years you got to do before you get that pension for the rest of your life?
If you're trying to hold on and play for your pension, man, you should just quit. Just don't even.
Yeah, some of them guys, some of them guys don't be thinking about that, man. You know what I mean? Hey, they think about the hand now. Then that body give out, they'd be like, well, you know what, man? I should have been doing this so I could get at least that pension for the rest of my life in the NBA.
Any player with at least 3 years of service in the NBA receives a monthly pension payment and access to other benefits such as lifelong health care, college tuition reimbursement, and more.
Wow. So they
how much is that check? Because I might go start getting in shares.
Current players receive $12,400 per year for each season played, with a max out at $124,000.
Plus whatever earnings they made, the couple of million they made when they were in the league.
If they save their money. Yeah.
That doesn't kick in until 62, though.
Wow. But it don't kick in until they're 62? Oh.
So it's not
so it don't start. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Pension. Yeah, you gotta
wait
till
what are you gonna be doing?
Hey, but I wanted to touch on something because someone brought this up when I did that live earlier today. They made a question. They told me something went down with Kevin and said, like, Nick G made a comment. Is this true that he said that the Knicks is going to be the worst team this year?
Yes, I got now.
He said that? Did he say that?
He went head to head for about 45 minutes last night.
Ain't no way.
And he was like, woo, in his Nick G-ish way. Like, I'm not saying that. I'm like, no, you literally came out of your mouth and said we're going to be the worst team in basketball.
Ain't no way.
No, I didn't. Like, no, yes, you did.
I don't think he's wrong. We got to see.
Right.
We're not going to be that far off.
Yeah, Vegas doesn't screw Vegas doesn't screw up, right?
No, Vegas are in the business of making money. They ain't throwing numbers out just to piss off the Knicks.
Every now and then they will mess up. Every now and then.
That's percentages, but 90 some odd percent. That's why they make money.
Yeah,
it's like dealing with the feds when the feds. It's like dealing with the feds. If the feds got some charges on you, you may as well go and get ready to go sit down because they pretty much got you.
Yeah, I always say if you get state charges, you have a chance. If you got Fed charges, you're going to jail.
Yeah, you got no chance.
And I wanted to validate and bring up the point, like, people look at the Knicks and they look at as what they were, what we have been.
True.
And think, oh, that's what we're going to be moving forward. And I'm like, well, that's just an unfair analogy. If you believe that these players individually are talented and we have a coach that can put their individual talent together collectively, then we're not going to be as bad as people think. If you think RJ and Kevin and to me, RJ of the young players that we have, RJ, Kevin, and Mitch are the ones that I feel, from what I've seen, are going to take those steps forward. DSJ and Frank, I think it was Freeze who said every time Frank gets competition, he gets hurt.
That was a good point.
That's true.
Somebody said it last night.
And
it was a great point.
I was just like, well, I know for a fact that RJ and Knox have put in work to get better this offseason. I know they spent 9 months working. And people get on Knox while playing Fortnite and everything. Knox is actually putting work.
No, he has. No doubt about it, Kev.
And if they take steps moving forward, getting better, and Obi and Quickly can come in and produce, and even if DJ and Frank are the odd men out in this rotation, you still have solid veteran players that can step up. And so when I said this team can be close to 500, if not a 500 ball club, I'm projecting people say that when people give contracts, it's what is this player going to do? Not what has this player, I mean, a little bit of it is what has this player done, but what is this player going to do?
Yeah, projection.
I can't give you $100 million of what you did. I got to give you $100 million for what you are going to do.
Yeah.
So that's why I don't think this team is going to be bad, because I just believe in the growth of the two. To me, the two most important players, RJ and Kevin. And if Mitch does take that step to be, if Mitch makes the second team All NBA defense, and I know I see that face. I'm saying if he,
No, that's a very.
No.
It's realistic.
That, man.
Player.
There's
That's
actually low expectations that you're putting on him.
No.
me-
Okay. So the league is still. This is why they put it down this much, right? Or they have it's down that much. The league ultimately is still a talent league, right?
Oh yeah.
So what we're doing, like, it'd be one thing, Kevin, right? If Kevin Knox was averaging 15 last year, right? And you're like, then you could say, okay, with better coaching, right? This coach likes to use the wing players at this position, which should, on average,
benefits this
wing
particular
players,
player.
they play 20% better in this position because the coach does it, right? We have a bunch of guys on our team. Let's be honest, Kevin. We project them and we're optimistic because they're on our team. This team was not enough guys in the team were producing to say, hey, they're not going to be the worst team in the NBA, right?
What was Devontae Graham averaging before last year?
His rookie year, it wasn't that good, right?
No, it was like 6-7 points.
6-7 points, right?
I'm sure Steven's gonna look that up.
Yeah, I am.
But me and Ron were talking about this earlier. Is Tibbs' mindset about trying to make the playoffs, or is he on about developing? Because that's just saying, if he wants to develop, is he just going? Why doesn't he just play the young players instead of trying to make that push?
To make people want to say development and winning are separate.
No. They can be together. They can be together.
Why can't you develop and win at the same rate?
Yeah, I'm not
that's a
debating that.
win-win.
Yeah,
It's not that
that's
you
a win-win.
can, Kevin. It's not that you can, but when we talk about the what are the probabilities of that happening with a team that was abject? It's one thing if the Knicks were middling bad. We were abject. And then now you're bringing a new coach with mostly the same talent from the previous year. That's not.
Did you get those numbers?
Guys, we got to be
optimistic.
I'm sorry. We have to be realistic when we look at this stuff, right? I'm sorry, Stephen. Go ahead. My bad, Stephen.
No, so what do you want? Last year's numbers or the year before?
Both.
The year before he played basically 15 minutes. He he shot 28% from three. His foul total was 76%. He had 4.7 points a game, 2.6 assists. A year later, last year, 18 points a game, 7.5 assists, 3.4 rebounds. He shot 37% from three, and that's with 35 minutes.
Fascinating.
And that's my question. Hold on one second.
Go ahead.
That's my question is, Knox and they can definitely do that. But the thing is, he needs the minutes. I don't want Tibbs doing this, playing the veterans and not going anywhere. I rather us play the young guys and not go anywhere. At least the young guys are developing. Like Knox can do that, but he needs minutes.
To your point,
needs to start.
That's why I said, the lineup I want to see, because we all been going back and forth about who we want the lineup to be. I've honestly felt this, and I'm gonna stick with it. I think what the lineup should be. If I was the coach with this roster, I'm starting quickly. I'm starting RJ at the 2. I'm starting Knox at the 3. The only player that I'm putting in there that ain't a young player to start is Julius at the 4. And I'm going with Mitch at 5. And I'm going to let this thing run. You know why? Because we need to find out once and for all what these guys are going to be. If for no other reason. The fact we got these proven vets on the team, if these young boys don't do right, guess what? These boys going to take your spot.
Yeah, and I don't want this lineup changing. I don't want the lineup changing.
I want them young fellas to go ahead and start so we can start weeding this stuff out so we can know by 20 games in who need to be on that plane in LaGuardia getting up out of here. I don't want to be at the end of the season, this player had this amount of minutes and that player. Again, we know it's predicated about how you practice with Tibbs. And if he's holding true to form of what he's saying, all indications of what he's saying about Mr. Quickly, he said, that the whole coaching staff looked at quickly and basically saying that they couldn't refuse him the minutes because of what they saw in practice. And he said, normally how you practice in practice is how you're going to play in the game. And he said the same thing glowingly about Knox. So if I'm hearing these things, go ahead and play these guys. Because we all know out of the skill level of our point guards right now, yeah, Quickly got a very small body of work. Nobody can argue that. But the guy is more effective than them other guys that's been here. So go ahead and let them play.
Work.
And exactly. I'll let them run, man. I'll let them young dogs run.
You don't have to forcefully start Knox, right, to see what you got. Knox has to rise above the.
But you know what, though? It ain't but forcing them, Legion.
Hold on.
Knox. I'm gonna take. Hey, hold on, Kev. I'm gonna take this one for you. Knox have showed me enough in them last 2 games with Quickly. Is something, and Guillermo, you know this. Is something about chemistry. Some players play real good with certain players with them. And for what I see with Quickly and Knox, they play great together. Even Obi and Knox. You know what I mean? Go ahead and let these young – and that's the one thing in New York, man. Think about it, fellas. We have never just let our young players just run. The only time we've done that, we've had terrible coaching, terrible front office.
You've also – hold up. You also seen Knox do this his rookie year, right? You've seen Knox have these spurts. So let's not act like as if what you're seeing from Knox is brand new, right? You can sit here and say maybe the chemistry is better, but again, 2 preseason games, right? And you got teams, Cavaliers, and even the other 2 games. The first game, Knox looked okay in the little minutes he got. Second game, not so great. Third, I don't remember he did in the third game, but fourth game, obviously he looked good. But again, a lot of what Knox is doing,
he's scored 16 in the last 2 games.
Yeah, and both of them.
I don't remember what he did in the third game. I don't remember the stat. I'm just saying, but the fourth game he did really good.
Yeah,
but again, hold up. But the thing that we're doing with Knox is like we're just Knox has to beat the competition in front of him because again,
true indeed. I'm with you on that.
Playing preseason games, right? I've seen this dance before where young guys have come in and done well in the preseason games where that guy's gonna do this, and it doesn't happen. Let's see how the season goes out. And again, there's nothing wrong if Knox looks like if not even say that Knox shouldn't start. I don't know who he's gonna start at 3, whatever. If he says starts, he's Alec Burks, right? Knox comes in and is producing too good off the bench. He's going to start. So there's no need to rush that. Because Knox is also a confidence guy. We know that if Knox is not hitting shots, he starts to, I would say, pout.
And you know what? Right now, his confidence is at an all-time high.
And the thing about it, again, when you're watching Knox, he's been killing by doing what? Hitting open threes. Knox does not have he has not shown at a reliable level that he has another level to his game that when he is not hitting threes, he can still produce offensively. So again, if you have games where he cannot come in and shoot well, that affects his game. You do not want to. You don't want to play this confidence too much.
Because in 4 games this preseason, I've still seen Knox do more than just hit open threes.
Yeah, he's
like shoot the air balls in the second game, right? Like shoot the air balls in the second game, right?
I've seen him in transition. I have seen him play a half-court 2-man game of Obi. I have seen him rebound and play defense. So you're
something he wouldn't have done in years past.
Season.
Yeah, but it don't matter, Guillermo. You play what's in front of you.
And I said that last night, Kev. That's what I said last night, man. We as Knicks fans, we got to get that stuff out of our head of what these guys do, man, and focus on what we're seeing in the hand now.
All right. So when these guys, because I don't want to hear from this chat, when these guys suffer, and the guys that you don't like suffer, for everybody says play the young kids. When they suffer and they're not looking too good, keep that same energy because you know why? You guys are the same ones. Y'all put all this stuff in, and then when they don't do good, especially if it's a guy you don't have a bias for, y'all want to kill him. Y'all want to say things, no offense, like, yo, you be the next one on the next train playing leader.
Hey, Guillermo, you ain't heard what I said. You must be heard the word I said.
I'm not done. If these guys heard this chat, right, and they hear like, oh, I'm being praised here and there, and then I don't do well, and these guys are saying, send my bags packing to China, you know what I mean? This is the disservice you do to some of these guys. We're not objecting to be all right. Ease them into roles where they can succeed, and if they do, okay, they get more play. That's not even to say they should be sitting on the bench for until the 20th game. If they're killing by, say, the 3rd, 4th game, okay. But again, it's about system. It's not about just giving some young kid.
But Guillermo, you're not listening to what I'm saying, man. Because everything you saying, I've said. You're not listening. You're not listening. I just said that. I said, of course, Tibbs is not going to throw these guys up there just for the sake of minutes. We're not going to do that. But based on what we're seeing, what the coach has said out his own mouth, what he's seeing in practice from Knox and quickly, it's translating. Didn't I just say that? I'm saying what you're saying.
Yeah, Knox shot 9 for 17 the last 4 games. So just real quick, salute to the chat again. We're at 973, 27 away from hitting that 1,000 milestone for our boy Freezy.
Yeah, man, hit them likes. If you're new, go ahead and subscribe. Hit that notification bell.
That's my guy. Thank you. Let's support our.
But seriously, Grandma, man. Hey, I'm saying what you're saying, man. Hey, but like I said, I want to see these boys go ahead and play. I ain't gonna even sit there in front. We always talk about what kind of lineup we want to see. I'm just being real. That's what I want to see. And
I want to see a consistent lineup. I want to see the consistent lineup of the young guys. What did the Nuggets and what did all these teams that have been rebuilding do? You put the team players out in the court and you let them play through their mistakes.
Yeah, if you're talking about
them haven't had the chances of doing that. They didn't play last year.
Well, they supplement, I think, Mislip. They had a couple of vets in there and they're loaded on the bench with kids, but I think they have the right system for us to emulate.
And I'm gonna tell you, to Kevin's point, man. Kevin made, I think, one of the most valid points, and I never even thought about it with Kevin Knox. What player that make the all-rookie team and average the points Knox did his first year, the next year come back and he's on the pine?
Yeah.
Not even given the chance to keep his starting job of how he played, how he plays in the game. Just tell you, you're going back to the bench, but you was my man. You was my man last year. You know what I mean?
Yeah, started 57 games his rookie season, and the year later 4. That'll rip any kid's heart out.
And we say
be gone too, Guillermo.
Yeah, and we say Knox is a confidence guy. The team literally just ripped the confidence out of him last year.
Guy at that age.
And right now, we all can attest that Knox confidence is at the highest that we've seen it since probably his rookie season.
We could say, here's a question: who was the best 3 players in preseason? In my eye, our best 4 in preseason was Quickly, Knox, RJ, and Randall. All 4 should start.
Exactly.
It's as simple as that. Because if he wants to win, you play the best players to make you win. You don't put the young guys, because I don't want to see Peyton. I like Alec Burks, but he's more serverless off the bench. We've seen that in his career. So I don't want to be seeing Peyton and Alec Burks.
Yeah, I don't want to see a bunch of journeymen. They ain't gonna even be here. I don't want to see that.
Yeah, the only one I'd start is Noel.
Better than DSJ and Frank, without question on that.
We seen that straight off the bat. Was it Quickly done more in 2 games with his assist numbers and his score numbers than Peyton, DSJ, and Frank combined?
Exactly.
So it's just
Quickly had 12 assists and 4 turnovers.
Yeah, and what I was thinking too is you have Kenny Payne as his assistant coach. It wouldn't surprise me if you have Kenny Payne pushing Tibbs to start the young guys.
Oh yeah,
because he knows what it's like to work with young players. He's been doing his whole career with Kentucky, so he's going to be like, all right, start these young guys and see what we got. Because that's the only way you're going to rebuild is start them.
I'm going to tell y'all right now. I'm going on record, December 21st, 1:24 a.m. And I'm going to tell you right now, these young guys is going to shock a lot of people in a good way, and there's going to be some Knicks fans that get shocked too. Mm-hmm. I'm telling you. I'm not like I said, when I say I'm wiping the slate clean for these guys, that's exactly what I mean, man. I'm going to give them a fair shot. And once 15 to 20 games come in, then y'all will start hearing me saying, well, this player need to be flying on out of here.
Yeah. You need to give them a shot. You need to give them a shot early, because I don't want to be this time next year still not knowing what we got out of Knox. Still not knowing what we got out of DSJ. Still not knowing what we got. Because we're not playing them.
Coach Colorblock the other day. I'm sorry, Guillermo. You want to take it?
Go.
No, it was what Coach Colorblock said the other day, that you could take 1,000 shots, but unless you take 1,000 shots in an NBA game at NBA speed, you're not doing that muscle memory. So let's put the kids out there as soon as possible and let them get NBA minutes to refine their game. And you know what? There's going to be mistakes. There's going to be hiccups, but that's how you learn. That's how you learn.
But again, and I'm not saying whether the rookies or whatever should start, right? All I'm saying is that if the rookies, because again, these younger kids, a lot of these young kids have been NBA for a few years, or 1, 2, 3 years, whatever. Some of them, right?
Mm-hmm.
the reason why you have competition is for those guys. They have to rise above it. Now, again, preseason, the kids have been playing well and for what they were asked to do. Right.
Shout out to you, Guillermo, for saying that. Shout out to you.
No, I have been saying that. You guys just if
I may not been listening. I may not heard you.
Different from somebody saying, oh yeah, the Knicks gonna win 50 games this year. It's like,
I got you. Go ahead, man.
I root for bro. When the Knicks got to the playoffs with bum ass Marbury and we lost in 2004, I knew we were gonna lose, but I was like, maybe win a game here, blah blah. I'm optimistic. All I'm saying is that there's a proper way to develop these guys, right?
I agree.
If they're not say they come in and they struggle, right? Do you still keep them in there to keep struggling and they're not learning anything? It's just, hey, we're just playing and we don't know what we're doing.
No,
I'm not even vouching for the vets. I don't give a damn about the vets if they're not better than the rookie or the young kids.
True.
Right? Because again, you can learn a lot coming from bench minutes. In fact, for a lot of these guys, if you've seen what Knox has done, right? A guy like Knox who's thrived being in the corner, right? Spacing out to the corner, a lot of these sets, right? Hitting a lot of threes. He hasn't been doing a lot much else, but hitting threes. I'm not itching on him, right? He can also get a lot of experience playing 30 minutes to start the season from the bench, killing it from the bench, and finally understanding, all right, when I'm in this as a starter, I got to do this and this and this. All right, I'm gonna do this, blah blah. Then I get the minutes. Like development is a multifaceted dynamic, whatever institution. I don't know the hell the right proper word is, right? We got to stop looking at it as like just throw these kids out there because again, we're talking about kids who need confidence. Even Obi, people talk about how much Obi is struggling, right? Do you play Obi over Randall because he's a young kid?
No.
Why not?
Because Randall to me right now is our best player. He's our best player. He's our closest thing to a number one.
That's the whole point. So, but if Randall is struggling, so then you put an Obi?
Yeah.
And that's why I want Randall in that starting lineup.
Is the definition of struggling? I look at struggling as making the same mistake over and over again. I think a kid making a mistake is normal, but if you bring him, he does it again the game after and the game after, that's struggling. Like he's not understanding a concept, whether it's handling a trap, is in the wrong position on a horn. Like you were saying, you got to be literally in that corner. You're not in the right position and whatever it is. But, so that's where I think that from a struggling perspective, if they're not understanding a concept, then you yank them. But if they do it once and you yank them, like it felt like with Fizz, he had a heavy hand with some players.
Yeah, that's why I like what Tibbs showed the other night when we were down 18 and he had those young guys in there. He just allowed them to play.
Yeah, but
that's a part of development. You need to learn how to come back when you're in a hole.
But also what I loved about Tibbs is when we were up 40, he called a timeout.
Yeah, correcting. And that's stuff you would have never seen.
That is wrong. And you're like, what are you calling a timeout like that? This is about learning. And that's a learning moment to say, I don't give a shit. We're up by 40. You were in the wrong position here. You got to, get over that screen or whatever. That's why I love this guy.
I'm under the belief that, like I said, I look at this and maybe I am just being an overly optimistic person. But like I brought it with Devontae Graham, I don't think anybody saw that jump from him.
No, I didn't see that coming.
I actually know Devontae. I don't know him, but
you know him, man. I'm joking.
I mean,
I'm only joking.
Go ahead, Kip.
But I mean, it's. But the point is, I know that he put in work to get better. And so when he went from 4 to what was it? 18.
18, yeah.
Yeah.
4 to 18 to win the most improved. I don't think he won most improved, but he probably should have won. I don't know.
Probably top 5.
No, he was second, and Brandon Ingram won most improved.
Yeah.
Oh shoot. Yeah.
So from 4 to 18, my thing is, why can't Knox go from 6 to 16 or 17? And if Knox is getting 17 a game,
if he did 15, I'd be happy.
But it's not. Also look at the
RJ going from 13 to 18 to 20. Randall's still giving you 20. Whatever I'm not saying just quickly, but I'm saying whatever the point guard position gives you. Mitch is giving you a double-double and being a defensive, anchor.
Rim protector, yeah.
why? And you have solid veteran players from Rivers, Burks, Bullock, Peyton, or whoever, however the rotation fills out. Why can't this be a good team? And I know there's the ifs involved, but I can see, like I said, the two most important people to me is RJ and Knox, because I need to see growth from those two together, like Brown and Tatum. And people are, oh, they're not as good as Brown and Tatum. And I was like, well, Brown and Tatum came into a much better situation than what
more stable franchise.
What RJ and
great coach in Stevens too.
Exactly.
So my thing is they're playing behind, yes, but now that they have that type of environment, I don't see why they can't take those steps.
But also when you look at Devontae Graham, again, multivariate analysis, right? You know, a lot of times what we like to do is just say, oh, Devontae Graham, coaching, I think. And then, okay, yeah, that's how he got better. It's like, well, no, also Kemba left the team, right? So he got a lot more minutes, I believe. He went from like 18 to 30 something, regards to minutes played, right? So again, I mean, different. And I don't think they changed the coach. I think it's the same coach. I can't remember the guy's name.
I can't think of it, but same coach.
Same coach, right? So again, different context versus what we have in Knox. And no one said it's not a possibility, right? So when we talk about Vegas, it's called, they're basing stuff on probability, right? Possibility, I mean, there was no possibility it could happen. It would just be a zero, right? We're not going to make that bet because we just know it's not going to happen, right? But, you know, if you're Leicester City, for all the soccer fans, right? They won the league. The probabilities were small, but there's a possibility it can happen, right? So and Leicester City, by the way, we play Mexican Manchester United. But anyway, you know, that's not to say that Knox can't do or take that leap, right? But again, what are the contexts with which, or the scenarios, right? This guy's coming from Kentucky. We don't run it, right? I mean, that was, you know, so-called best years. Your boy Calipari did say it's going to take a few years, and yes, he has a coach now. So no one say it's not a possibility. But again, this is why I asked you, Kevin, and you always think I'm hating on it, but I'm not. When I look at Kevin Knox, and this is what you do, it's like you give him this, you know, this nice ceiling, right? Oh, like, yo, why can't Kevin Knox take this leap? Okay, I'm like, okay, you can take the leap. Okay, I had a game where he shot really well from outside. They didn't do much else, right? And we know that there are games where you struggle. And then when I say that, you're like, oh, why can't you just be happy with it? When then now you're capping the ceiling, right? So
what I'm saying is this. How do we not know Kevin Knox wasn't asked to stand outside and shoot threes?
No. But hold up. But I saw in game 3 where he was.
I need you to stand in the corner and be ready when the ball comes to you and hit threes. That's the only task I'm giving you.
That wasn't, because you saw the ball in his hand. I literally have the notes where he literally game 3 or game 2, I can't remember which one. He's literally driving with his head down, picks his dribble up. So he had ISO. Like he had situations where he had ISO where he had to.
I went back and looked at that play when you said when he went. I think he was on the right wing and drove baseline. He didn't have his head down. He thought about
baseline. The guy defending him, they took his head up.
This is what happened. And I saw that play, and I wish I could bring it up. And I saw that play. Kevin Knox was driving. Nobody else was moving with Kevin Knox. Everybody else was standing still. So when he went to go put, nobody cut or moved. So he got stuck.
The whole point, Kevin, you're missing the whole point. The whole point is that in that situation, ISO by himself, he could not create a shot for himself. And I'm not getting on him. All I'm saying is that the rest of his game outside of outside shooting is not there yet. So when people talk about his, again, if he's put in a situation, I think Udi is saying this, right? If he's in a situation where he's come, and I'm not saying he starts at the bench, whatever. If he starts, who gives a damn? But to have a defined role for him, I think will be his best development. To sit here and say, oh, why can't Kevin Knox be the most improved player? Well, no. If, like you said, his role is to do shooting, and most of production comes from shooting, right? Unless he's shooting 50%, 45% from 3 over 8 attempts or something like that, he's most likely not going to be seen as his most improved player, right? He's just filling a role really well. He'd be improved in production-wise, right? But again, and this is why I asked you, Kevin, be realistic. What is his ceiling, right? Is Kevin Knox going to be that role player shooter, right? Or is he something greater than that? Because so far, I haven't really seen anything outside of his shooting. I'm not issuing him. If he's a role shooter for us, that's great. I don't give a damn. He's producing. That's good. I'm not sitting here hoping
he has one elite skill. But as Guillermo's saying, is that going to be an elite shooter? But we haven't seen it on the rebounding side. We haven't, he's picking up his defensive game now, but even in preseason, I think he had 1 block, no steals. So those are he's playing much better D, no doubt about it. But we want, I think his role is going to be what he does well, and don't put him in a role of what he doesn't do well.
Right.
I think a lot of when it comes to fans, again, you're so caught up on Knox let you down last year, so you can't trust him. And
if like I just said, if you started 57 games and then you start 4, it's not the kid's fault if he.
Yeah, he's only playing 18 minutes.
That is a mindset when people say, "Oh, well, he didn't do this last year and he didn't do that last year and he hasn't done anything," and da. You're holding on to the bad. And if everyone else can get a mulligan from last year, why can't Kevin Knox? Because everyone underperformed last year.
When he shot 9 for 17 in those last 2 games, he's getting a mulligan.
It was empty.
Yeah, who else is getting a mulligan? I said DSJ should go to the G League. I said Frank Ntilikina is probably most likely not going to be in team.
But hey, Germ, I got you on this one. I got you, man. Because I've been sitting back listening. All you're saying is these guys got to earn it, and I'm with you on that. But if they're showing that they earn it, I don't want to see them veterans in there over these guys that are looking like they earn it. That's all I'm saying. I think that's pretty much what everybody's trying to say. Because these guys, they do look different than in past years. And I got to give them youngsters their credit, man. They look better. Even DSJ, for as terrible as he looked on one aspect, defensively. Defensively, he looks the best that he's been in his career. So I mean, that's all it is, man. But this thinking that we're going to be the worst team in the league this year, I challenge anybody on that one. We're not going to be the worst league.
Okay, so then just bet Vegas.
Well, we just saw 2 of the worst teams that we played.
Yeah.
They're going to beat us out. One of them teams going to beat us out. Ain't no way those 2 teams going to be better than us at the end of the season. I don't see it happening.
They legit took out Andre Drummond. The guy had a plus 20. I don't know what the hell he had.
Even with Andre Drummond, I don't think they're going to be better than us, man. Because think about it, Germo, Julius Randle, and Drummond, other than Drummond, well, and even rebounding, they're almost the same type of players. They're almost the same type.
No, Drummond
is a better consistent rebounder, but Julius Randle will have one of them Andre Drummond numbers type game every now and then.
Drummond is a dominant down low force. It's just he's a dynamo in the NBA. Randle is not Drummond.
In a context too, what are the odds that Drummond even finishes this season in Cleveland?
That's a good point. Now that is a very good point because he's on the last year of the deal, and they may want to move him to get draft pick consideration and keep building that team.
What's the point behind that, Kevin? What's the point behind that?
Because people say Cleveland's going to be better because they have Drummond, but Drummond's probably not even going to finish the season in Cleveland,
and so that's going to make them lesser of a team than what they are now.
But with Drummond, what we touched on earlier, do you think some of what Drummond does, that double-double, is some of it his empty stats?
No.
Because he can't. He's not a really good defensive player. Even though
I'm gonna tell you what I've seen in Drummond. Every stop he's been at so far, he's been consistently that type. The problem is he's just been on bad teams. If you put Drummond on a playoff contender,
well, he had 2 years with Detroit when he was in the playoffs, and then they just went into rebuild, and then they traded him.
And why do you think they got to the playoffs?
Drummond is people don't give. He's probably one of the reasons.
He's definitely
the main reason.
Yeah,
he was the main reason.
Greg,
him and the other guy, the other big guy. Who's the other big guy, Germa?
Greg.
They had another guy.
Greg's. Damn, what the hell is this guy?
Who's the other guy?
Greg Monroe.
Yeah, Monroe. He got Monroe out of time. Monroe's gone, right?
I don't even know what Greg Monroe.
I think he's retired.
Yeah, so they moved Monroe out of town to keep Drummond.
I'm
thinking.
They disrespect
Andre Drummond.
Who?
Boston.
Drummond, a beast, man.
And the only reason I say that is because Boston has that really, really big trade exception now.
Yeah, they have a $27 million
I can see him down
exception.
there. I can see him down there.
I could see
it. The only thing Boston is missing is a big man.
Yeah. They got Tristan, but he's not.
Tristan is hurt, man. Isn't he hurt?
No,
I'm
but
just saying, even
Tristan
if
isn't a dominant big man. He's
Tristan
a
ain't
defensive
Kimba's hurt.
big man, that's it.
Tristan Thompson is not Andre Drummond.
He's just a rebounder. He's just a really good rebounder, right?
Yeah. He
And I'll
doesn't
take the
score.
rebounds because he gonna get you a 15 in
Yeah,
a week's
he's gonna
time.
get you
Of 3
20
games,
and 15 a
he
game.
gonna have at least 1 a week or 2 a week where he got you 15, but he gonna do a solid 12
Yeah,
just about every game. 12 rebounds every game.
yeah.
Who,
It says
Drummond?
Tristan took part in the Celtics practice, but his status for the opener is still unclear.
Yeah, he's hurt and Kimba, so they can use
Like
some
I
help.
said, Cleveland's probably, the team that's probably gonna be the worst team is probably OKC.
Yeah.
Maybe
Well,
Shai's good, and I don't even know if they got Al Horford, but
They've
Horford on the other side.
Shy.
SGA,
They have
Oubre.
SGA, George.
My bad.
Oubre, they traded Oubre.
He's
They
doing well
have-
with Golden State.
Yeah, they
man.
have SGA, they have George Hill, they have Al Horford,
Beasley.
then Baisley and Dort. That's their 5.
Let me see.
I don't think they'll be one of the worst teams. They'll be competitive. They won't make playoffs. That's for sure.
No, because they're in the West, they're going to be playing a lot of
they won't
West
make
teams.
playoffs.
They're going to be at the bottom. No, they're not. No, they're going to be one of the worst
They're
teams
at the
because of the
bottom.
schedule.
Can I ask you guys a question, man? This is my issue, right? We're looking at the team success totally different, right? And not in like the win. Who gives a damn about the wins, right? This year, we all know was going to be a cleanup year, a year to establish a system, right? I'm more concerned about which players fit into what Tom Thibodeau has or wants to install system-wise, right? And how productive they can be. And then what else outside the system can they do once they have a base level production within their roles? Screw the wins. The wins and a lot. If you have proper development, it may be a 2-3 year thing, right? And I'm not saying we lose for 2, but next year may be the thing. All right, you cut this guy, get this guy, you draft this guy, you get this guy, and then you start seeing us stiffing around 40 wins, right? 45 wins like that. But to care about what Vegas and we only
I ain't thinking about what Vegas got to say.
Get 20 wins. Fair enough. We sucked last year. Who gives a damn? How well is Knox developing the system? How well is Julius Randle or how well is Obi Toppin developing? I don't give a damn about.
And I think right now every Knicks fan can say we finally got a developmental staff. We got one.
And I think that's a great point because we don't want Obi becoming Kevin Knox from a confidence standpoint, where he loses his confidence because he's put in a situation that's, he's a rookie and they're asking him to do things. And I think Tibbs is going to put him in a position and the development staff.
I'm going to tell you what, when you think about them young guys last year, man, they really were set up for failure. Even
they were thrown into the world.
Even as sorry as Fizz was as a coach, and we all know that. But all that Fizz and them players were set up for failure from the word get-go. When that debacle happened, when we didn't get Katie or Kyrie, and that whole thing switched, and they started trying to scramble and bringing in all these power forwards,
Randall,
not addressing the team the right way.
This is my mindset, and I guess because I'm a student of basketball and I used to coach. Development is good, and setting a culture sounds good, but all that starts with, can you learn how to win? Because what is development? Now, development is learning to be better, to put yourself in better situations.
True.
So that comes with, can you be good enough to win? Because the only thing that matters, sports is, who said it? Sports is a results-oriented business. If you are not getting the results, you're not going to be in business. And so it sounds good to say, oh, well, as long as the kids learn.
Every GM, that's your motto.
But it's like, okay, what are they learning? If you're not learning how to win, what are you really learning?
Well, the whole point is that it's not linear, right? So just because you can have, obviously, the point of basketball is put the ball in the basket, right? So obviously you're trying to develop and get stops and develop everybody to that level, right? But if you're so when I'm talking about, I'm not sitting here saying that you can't win, right? If we win, we win. That's great. That's wonderful, right? But again, you want long-term success, right? So if we're winning and we're winning with veterans only going to be here 1 year, right? And we're not giving time to the young kids like you guys were just talking about. That's not really good long-term development because that means either Thibodeau just favors veterans or our young guys suck. and we're still not developing,
True.
or maybe so. Again, I mean, you can't have a both way. If to me, development of the team, development of our core players, you can have Knox developing faster than say Mitch, right? And you still not winning a lot of games, but you know that Knox, you don't have to go into next year's drafting for a wing player because Knox is that guy you can build around, right? So the next year you draft for Mitch, theoretically, just draft for Mitch's position because he's not that guy, right? You need something to give you a clearer path to your development, especially when you have guys from previous regimes. So that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying you can't win and develop, right? But let's stop with saying, oh, we could just, because Kevin, if I sat here and said, okay, Alec Burks is going to get more minutes than Kevin Knox, regardless, because he's probably going to help us win better than Knox, despite the fact that maybe you do lose a little bit more with Kevin Knox, but long term, he'll give you better production, higher level production.
I went to Chuck about this last night, and I clearly said that Knox has outplayed Alec Burks and Reggie Bull. Regardless of whether they're veterans or not, Kevin Knox has outplayed those two wing players.
Outplayed them what, their whole careers? What are you talking about?
He just talking about right now during this.
No, right now.
Oh, okay.
Because as Tom Thibodeau said, you're playing time, and I'm holding Tom Thibodeau to this. He said playing time is going to be given to those who work hard in practice and who shows it on the court. Now, he also said that Kevin Knox has looked good in practice, which is translated to Kevin Knox has looked good in the game. So if you took those two by just what they are, then Kevin Knox should deserve to have, even if he doesn't, he should deserve to have heavy minutes because he has earned that from what Tom Thibodeau has said. It's up to Kevin Knox to continue that. Now, if Alec Burke now, and I brought out this because Chuck was like, well, Kevin Knox is like a 36% 3-point shooter for his career, and I was like, well, so is Alec Burks. People think that, when you bring in someone like Alec Burks, like he should start because he's a veteran. It's not like we brought in Kawhi Leonard or anyone like that. We brought in Alec Burks, who's been on like 6 teams.
No doubt.
Well, I tell you right now, Kev,
he's still playing a playoff team last year.
It's close with those two guys, man, on performance from what I've seen, because I ain't going to poo-poo Alex Burks neither. Alex Burks been playing good. But my motto is, you know how it is in sports, man. If you got a veteran and you got a young player and they are doing pretty much the same thing, they're close, you're going to go with the younger player.
Yeah.
I just don't like how are we you literally try to marginalize what Alec Burks did, and he's playing more playoff teams than Kevin Knox because you're
we're not downplaying him.
You're literally saying
why has Alec Burks played on 5 teams?
6.
Well, I mean,
Same thing with Austin Rivers.
Yeah, but again, they've played on.
They played on playoff teams.
Winning culture matters now. You trying to set culture?
That matters. He played on 5. Chris Paul played on how many teams? Just because.
Hey, Guillermo, to your point.
Like Joe Smith, but Chris
to your point, I know what you're trying to say, Guillermo. I know what you're trying to say. Those guys came from winning cultures, man, and that's.
I'll say it for myself.
Alec Burks,
you're poo-pooing veterans and literally going off of 4 preseason games.
True.
And what the coaches said.
No, what I'm saying is don't overvalue these veterans. It's not like we got.
You're overvaluing Kevin Knox, who's one of the worst players on one of the worst NBA teams. Like, let's be realistic. Just because you look good in the camp, and I'm hoping Kevin Knox kills because I want us to have an answer at 3 or 4 whether he's going to play.
Yeah, we need that answer now. We definitely do. We need that answer.
It's not like poo-pooing on veterans. Oh, he's playing on playoff. Play on 5 teams too, and he's the outside of the top 2 or 3 you want to call him. He's the best pure point guard in the game. He's a guy that we would have loved to have in the Knicks. So it's like, don't poo-poo. But put like this. The reason why I don't want to poo-poo veterans, because if Kevin Knox beats those veterans, that validates his progress even more.
Absolutely. And you know what? This is another thing to think about. Tom Thibodeau trying to set culture, right? He brought those guys in here because those guys came from winning situations. They can teach these young guys. And that's something that we ain't even touching on. Maybe the reason why Kevin Knox is playing better, these young fellas are playing better because they got Austin Rivers in practice telling them things. They got Alex Burks telling them, hey, you need to do this to get better. So it takes a team at the end of the day, man, and you got to have veterans. I don't care how good the young players are, and I'm one that's advocating for the young players to play. I want to see them play, but I don't want players to play just be playing. You got to earn it. I ain't never been in the market of just giving stuff to people. But if they earn it from everything that the coach is saying, but how they practicing and stuff, I want him to stick to his words. That's all I'm saying. But the way they're playing right now, I can tell you this. This don't look like the same Knicks team. And I know ain't nobody can disagree with that. This do not look like the same Knicks team.
Hey, Art from the chat said Knox doesn't need to start to develop. Let him kill against second units first, and that will help his confidence.
I think his confidence is already up there.
Yep.
You see how Knox bouncing after he was shooting them shots the other night. How he still got Guillermo. Good confidence is confidence, man. You know that. For a shooter, come on now.
Me playing in the preseason against bums ain't the real thing. If I hit a shot against a kid who might be going to China or Europe right after the preseason versus I'm hitting shots against some of the league's best players, big difference.
Guillermo, it's funny you say that. I'm sitting there on my other screen and I'm looking at they literally got the Knicks game up with the Cavaliers and Kevin Knox just shot a corner three and running back up the court, smiling and talking. When have you seen Kevin Knox do that? In recent history? That's confidence. That's confidence, Guillermo. That's like this, man. That's like this.
What Uda's saying is that you have to have again, and I'm not talking about whatever. Let him get, if he's killing against these in a second unit, playing 30, 35, or 30 minutes, second unit, and he's killing, then yeah, push him up. If in Thibodeau's eyes he didn't deserve, I'm just saying, before Kevin gets him, if Thibodeau did not start him, right? There's nothing wrong with Knox also coming off the bench, killing from the bench against NBA level competition where these guys are playing 35 minutes a night, not one half, their best players, one half, they sit out and you're playing against a whole bunch of bums and you feel good doing the same things that we've seen in spurts for the past few years.
But Guillermo, you have not seen Knox playing like this in preseason. In the last preseason, he wasn't playing like this. Let's be real. And this guy, I don't know the last time I seen this guy smile on a basketball court, period. You talking about, this preseason he playing against who? Let's look at it this way, Guillermo. Fellas, if you in the club, right, and let's say the finest woman in the club, and everybody, all the fellas you with, they notice the finest chick in the club, and she pull up on you, and she start talking to you. Your confidence gonna be what? You gonna be smiling, right? You're gonna be happy. You're gonna be talking to your fellas. And Steve, come on now. Come on now.
I've never had that experience. I can't.
You're gonna be talking.
Ron. That's what we're talking about with preseason ain't the club. We're talking about you have to,
it's the club of preseason.
Yeah,
no, it's not preseason. It's not preseason. The club ain't preseason.
This is the thing about it. Guillermo just said,
I'm talking about the supermarket or something.
I got you. I see where you going, man. Yeah, that's a good one.
The regular season's the club. I'll feel you on that, but
here's the thing.
This is the boys'
club. What does it mean? And I said this in the beginning. To see the ball go in the hole means a lot to Kevin Knox.
To a shooter, to any shooter.
It might not mean it's preseason. It doesn't mean anything. But to Kevin Knox to be on the basketball court after what he went through last year and hit 6 out of 7 threes, that means a lot to Kevin Knox.
It reinforces that all that hard work is paying off.
All right, let's just okay. All right.
Hey, just real quick.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, just real quick. We're at 976. So, wow, we're getting close, man.
24 away, man.
24 away from a Freezy's present, the Christmas present. Please, we're at 103 likes. So please continue. As always, fantastic job by the greatest mods in the world, Sima Bodega and New York Knicks. Shout out, just saying Joe Curry, Big Oso, as always, Germ Warfare, Russell McCall, Todd Barbie, Quattro Cinco is always here. Art, thanks again. SJ the Third, that dude fresh, D Public Enemy again. All you guys really, really appreciate it. So please hit those like, subscribe, and reminder buttons to support our boy Freezy. And don't forget to check out Freezy's Knicks Morning Drive in the morning. It was great with Ghetto Intellect. I love that guy, man. Always dropping wisdom. Great show this morning. Great show every day. So
can we do something?
Sure.
Can we? Because I want to have like an experiment. Can we look at the Eastern Conference and because there's some people who think we're going to be the worst team in, I don't know, in the East or in basketball or whatever. But can we look at just take a look at the Eastern Conference for a second?
Okay, so if we look at the Eastern Conference, just as a recap, last year Bucks were number 1, Raptors were number 2, Celtics were 3, Pacers were 4, Heat was 5, 76ers, Nets, Magic, Wizards, and Hornets. And the teams, that was the 10 that made it, and the 5 that didn't were the Bulls, the Knicks, the Pistons, the Hornets, and the Cavs. The Hawks and the Cavs.
Because me and Nick G got into it last night, and he was saying that certain teams got better, and and because I was like, okay, if we got better, then other teams got better too. And so he brought up a team like Orlando. Actually, as a matter of fact, that was his case. He brought up Orlando. He's like, Orlando has gotten better. And I thought to myself, the only person Orlando got. Okay, I'll put it like this. We all know you can probably make Milwaukee, Brooklyn, Boston, Philadelphia, Toronto,
Miami.
Mm-hmm.
How many is that?
There's 6. And so after that, there's
Pacers are going to be in there.
I think Pacers are going to take a step back. They're going to take a step back.
So
but not much.
There's 6 automatic locks right there because everyone else can be interchangeable. So Orlando and Indiana made the playoffs last year. Depending on what you get from Oladipo,
got to stay healthy.
And Sabonis, because Sabonis hasn't stayed healthy either.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And they got a new coach.
And they have a new coach, so they're going into a new system. So health and continuity will be key for them. Because right now, TJ Warren, I was looking at, TJ Warren's not playing. And in the preseason, I don't know what their numbers are in the preseason.
Wait, did TJ Warren opt out or the season?
He's hurt. He's hurt.
Okay.
Hey, fellas, man, I'm going to have to run, man. Hey, I enjoyed it. Yeah, man, I gotta get up early in the morning, man.
Me too.
I got to fill in, man. I got to fill in the morning. I got a meeting, man. So, hey, fellas,
I'm free, man. Hello, Ron.
Y'all have a good one. Hey, Guillermo, next time you on, man, I meant to jump on. I saw you on, man, but I ended up trying to watch that old sorry behind. Giants couldn't pull that game off for me.
Oops.
I was hoping they would have beat Cleveland. I wasted my time watching them. Hey, peace out to the chat. Freezy.
Man.
Hey, tell Freezy, hey, get some rest, man.
And one last thing, Ron, do a shout out because people love you. Let's get Freezy, those subscribers up. Do us a shout out, please.
Hey, man, seriously, man. Support this guy, man. I mean, think about it right now. What would you be doing right now if this show wasn't on? If you ain't hitting them like buttons, man, go ahead and smash them like buttons. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. Turn on your notification bell. Hey, also from a man, Legion of Knicks podcast, we go at it. We all bump heads, man. But this guy, hey, at the end of the day, it's all about this thing behind me, the thing on top of my head, the thing across my chest. It's the Knicks or nothing. And we all want this thing to run the right way. Same thing with Kevin, Joe Madden, Stephen Fox, all the fellas on this panel. Rob, who ain't here right now, State. Hey, support State as well, man. Support him. Spreewell, hey, support these guys, man. And Sam as well. Nothing but Knicks. CK2K. Who else? Knicks Fan TV. Support them all, man, because at the end of the day.
And one of the best man, it's the Knicks.
Hey, and I'm going to have to give you all this one, man, because it's been a long time since I'm feeling this optimistic. Man. Good night, fellas. Y'all have a good one. I'm going to sleep good tonight.
Have a good night.
Hey, Upset Wednesday.
Now you're talking.
Let's upset Vegas. Let's make Vegas mad at us.
Oh, I'd love to.
It makes Max Kellerman mad at us, too. That's who I want to see mad. I can't wait to see what he got to say tomorrow morning. Well, this morning about our team.
He's a Lakers fan, so it doesn't matter. He says.
Yeah, I want to hear what he got to say, though. He gonna make some kind of excuse, but yeah, fellas, y'all have a good one, man. Everybody in the chat, ladies and gentlemen, Knicks Nation, y'all have a good evening.
You too, my friend.
Well, I forgot what I was saying. Just that quick. I'm getting old. So I look at Indiana. They have no bench whatsoever. Like their bench is atrocious.
Isn't TJ Warren off the bench?
Steven, who's on their bench?
Starter.
He's a starter. Oh, who they got at start? So they have Oladipo, Turner, Sabonis,
Brogdon,
and Brogdon.
Turner. Yeah. So
Brogdon, Aaron
Brogdon.
Holiday, Justin Holiday,
wow.
Jeremy Lamb,
I'm sorry.
Doug McDermott, Old Nick, Victor Oladipo, Sabonis, like you said, Cassius Stanley, the kid out of Duke, Miles Turner, and Warren.
Their bench is awful. Like if their scores aren't, they have a pretty decent. Actually, they have a pretty good starting five, but they can't go their bench for long periods.
They're one injury away from chaos. Right?
They do have shooters off the bench, and we struggle with perimeter shooting, so that's definitely something we got to look out for because they got Justin Holiday, Jeremy Lamb. I hate that guy since freaking UConn.
Yeah, I was about to say UConn.
Freaking overrated.
But, now with Warren out, you move Justin Holiday to the starting unit, and so it makes their bench even more worse.
Yeah, Brian Bowen. They got guys. Jalen
Lecker. Last game, like the last couple games, the 6th man is like Doug McDermott. So that says a lot. Your 6th man is Doug McDermott.
Yeah. Well, he can shoot. Yeah, I guess he's their version of Kevin Knox.
Yeah, he shot 43.5% over 4.3 attempts last year. It was a resurgent season for him as a role player, obviously, 10.3 points. He found his Creighton. Where he's from? Creighton? Whatever schools.
Yeah.
So I look at it that we had to be better than Indiana and Orlando. People want to look at Charlotte, but I don't really think that Charlotte got that much better. Gordon Hayward is already hurt. That's just resurgent.
The passing with LaMelo, and again, LaMelo's going to go through his lumps. I don't think he's going to be his uber dominant player to start out, but just that draft pick, right? So they got Devontae Graham, LaMelo, PJ Washington,
Miles Bridges.
Is Rozier?
Terry Rozier.
So let's say you just add LaMelo. How many wins is a rookie point guard really going to get? And not a score, not like Trae Young when he was a rookie or Luka when he was a rookie. Because LaMelo is not that kind of scoring player.
He can't shoot and he doesn't play deep.
Kind of point guard. How many wins?
But look at the pace. Look at the pace at which they play with. Like you said, look at the impact certain plays. Like Bismack Biyombo is like scoring off of LaMelo balls. Like he's probably scoring 90% of his scores off of assists anyway. And LaMelo Ball, I mean, some of the passing are just it's just good. They're not crazy, but LaMelo Ball again, the passing opens up a lot. So I wouldn't poo-poo LaMelo. Now I agree with you. The scoring is going to be, but again, if you have a guy who's a high-level scorer, could get it to because Miles Bridges is not a guy who's going to sit there and create on his own, right? I don't think he could shoot well. He's like I don't want to call him a dunker, but he's like an energy kind of slasher guy, right? You got Terry Rozier, likes the ball in his hands. He might be the odd guy out. Devontae Graham could space the floor.
LaMelo's going to come off the bench at the beginning. They're going to start with because Jordan loves
Rozier over him.
Yeah, that's been doing in the preseason. Yeah, Melo's been getting about like 15 minutes. Yeah, he's only been getting like 15 minutes a game. And the way Jordan loves Terry Rozier, like he don't want to trade him.
Yeah, and he's not with Jordan Brand, right? Is he?
He still got Malik Monk.
Yeah.
So really, how much better
good weed at least
is Charlotte? Charlotte is leaps and bounds better than we are.
Nah, it's close. They are better than us by a little bit, but they're not leaps and bounds. The one team that has taken the big leap is Atlanta.
And his name is Atlanta, right?
Gallo signing, yeah.
Gallo, Rondo, Bogdan.
Yeah.
So I look at Atlanta, and they can score.
The defense isn't good.
Really?
I love what Kevin's doing. Kevin's literally trying to go through the roster.
No, I'm looking at them like they can score. They are going to be a really exciting team. Like I wish we were going to be able to score like they can.
Mm-hmm.
and they are going to take a big leap. It'll be interesting to see how much Trae Young can play off ball without the ball in his hand that much, because he's going to take less shots now.
Yeah, Bogdan's beside him.
With Bogdanovich and Rondo, because I'm pretty sure Rondo and him will be on the court.
Yeah.
They'll play on the court.
He struggled in preseason, though.
Yeah, so don't you think their starting lineup will be Clint Capella at center, Bogdanovich at the shooting guard, Collins at power forward? You have obviously Trae at the point guard position,
and Gallinari probably at the 3.
Yeah, probably Hunter.
Hunter or Gallinari.
He's the only guy that plays defense, I think.
Yeah, I'll say the only reason because Hunter actually plays defense. Hunter doesn't need the ball.
Oh,
and you have Rondo, yeah.
Well, they also have
Kevin Horder.
I forgot they had DeAndre Hunter.
Kevin Horder. That's actually someone which I thought the Knicks should try and make a move for. Is Kevin Horder. I like that kid. He's not going to get minutes because you have Cam Reddish there too.
Yeah, so they'll probably make a jump. And they have some really good role players there in Atlanta. If anything, I'm more worried about Atlanta than I am about either Indiana or Orlando.
But also, doesn't Indiana have really good defense? I don't know what their rankings are, but did they have really good defense past few years?
But you gotta watch it. You gotta watch out with Indiana though, because I think Oladipo's going to take a step because he's had that year where he was just getting off the injury, and if he can stay healthy, I think he can be something.
Yeah, Indiana Pacers last year were number 3 in points allowed. They were number 6 in assists allowed, number 6 in field goals allowed, number 6 in 3-point pointers allowed, number 11 in blocks, number 13 total turnovers. They were number 6 in opponents' field goal percentage. They were number 4 in opponents' 3-point percentage and number 6 in overall defensive rating. So yeah, Indiana Pacers. Yeah, that's not a soft team, and I believe Sabonis was out.
And Atlanta was just the opposite.
Oh yeah.
30th in team points allowed was the Hawks. Yeah,
and it's not like they brought in
anybody to change that culture. That's for sure.
Because Gallinari, Bogdanovich aren't defenders. Rondo's kind of on his last legs almost. I mean, he's still productive in finding, the open man as a point guard on the offensive side, but he's not the same Rondo he was on defense.
I think what they're going to do with Rondo is you're not going to see a lot of he might get 15, 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Maybe 15, 20 minutes in the regular season, and then he'll start playing more if they make it to the playoffs.
Right. And he's going to do what he did with the Lakers, right? Where Rondo is a guy to set up the all, because the thing with Trae Young, and they have some, they've said that Trae Young can be somewhat of an assist hunter, right? Sometimes he just doesn't pass the ball to allow things to happen. And granted, he didn't have much. I mean, last year, not say have much, but he had a lot of young players, whatever.
John Collins.
You bring in Rondo, do like we did the Lakers, right? You have a bunch of, because you're gonna have that. If you look at that team, they do have talent, right? And Rondo will get guys in proper position.
They have a boatload of talent, and
he did it off the bench though. That's the thing. Like he did with the Lakers, where he played 25 minutes, I believe, off the bench, and was excellent for that second unit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you get those talented kids to play on a higher level with a Rondo off that bench. Now, again, this is if he buys into, because everybody knows Rondo, right?
Yeah.
If he buys into it, that bench can be scary. Think about this. You have Cam Reddish, Herter. What's coming off the bench that we just mentioned?
You remember Onyeka Okongwu too? They drafted him.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
So you're looking at Atlanta. To me, they're going to be one of the top 5 3-point shooting teams. It's their defense you got to worry about.
And someone made a good point. Gallo is not going to play the 3.
He's going to play the 4.
So that either means John Collins.
No, I think Gallo will go to the 3 because of John Collins, unless they're deciding.
But on defense, there goes the defense again.
Yeah.
Someone said he hasn't played the 3.
Gallinari can't guard any wing player.
Thank you. Thank you.
Like
Gallinari might have to come off the bench. They might use him like a 6-man.
Right. So you have that bench, right? You have Rondo with shooters, bro. That can be a disgusting bench, man.
They could be, to me, but they could easily, if it all clicks together, They could easily be a 4th or 5th seed and go deep in the playoffs. They could be one of the surprise teams like the Heat was last year.
The only thing though is that I don't know that the defensive identity might be lacking. Right.
That's the thing that might kill them. Like they could easily be a top team in the
Like
East
a D'Antoni
in the regular
team.
season, yeah. And then when it comes to the playoffs, that's where it might shrivel a little bit. Because Trae Young ain't gonna play defense. Then the only one on that starting team that plays defense is Hunter.
And if you play a Kungwu, right? If you start a Kungwu,
yeah, but you're gonna have Clint Capella. You're paying him. Was it $25 million or more?
Exactly.
Right.
And he has like 3 years left in his deal. He's like 3
years.
Yeah, he's only after he'd not even 1 year done on his deal.
Joe. Yeah.
When the Rockets traded him.
Oh.
What did the Rockets even get for him? Did they get picks? Because what was that trade? It was a 3-team trade, wasn't it? Or 4-team trade?
It was a
because I think wasn't it Minnesota were involved in that, right? Because the Rockets got Covington.
Covington, right? As part of a 14 trade, 12-player deal.
I hate them trades. They get so confusing.
I know. I got to get out my slide rule.
So I guess this comes down to, can the Knicks be...
That's how they got Malik Beasley in Minnesota in that trade.
Denver. Also, it was the Rockets.
So the
Denver.
Timberwolves got 2 first-round picks, including Houston's 2020 pick when they moved on to the Denver Nuggets, and for guard Malik Beasley and forward. The Rockets acquired Minnesota's Robert Covington, traded center Clint Capella to the Hawks as part of that 14 trade. So, like you said, it was very complicated.
Yeah.
So Minnesota also acquired Atlanta's Evan Turner and Denver's Jared Vanderbilt. Denver acquired Minnesota's guard Shabazz Napier, Noah Vonleh, blast from the past, guard Gerald Green, who was just released, Nene. Atlanta acquired Nene. Yeah. And Atlanta, okay. And they waived Chandler Parsons, another blast from the past. So, yeah, that was a complicated trade.
Yeah.
Chandler Parsons, that guy's gotten so much money for the like just career-wise. Oh,
he robbed. Was it
the Mavericks.
Memphis? What was the Mavericks?
I thought he got that money from Matt.
He was Gordon Hayward before Gordon Hayward.
None of it, he robbed both teams.
Yeah, because he got 2 deals, right?
Yeah, he signed with Dallas, then didn't sign with Memphis, a big deal.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, Memphis gave him like $20 million, $20 or $22 million a year for like 3 years or something.
Oh my gosh, that's been one of the worst. But he did kill that one or 2 years with the Rockets. Yeah. Right, that he was going to be that guy. But
hey, fellas, this morning on Freezy's morning drive, Knicks morning drive, he had Ghetto Intellect on, one of my favorites, and he said that I fooled around and said you jinxed this, but he said, I could see Quickly winning the Rookie of the Year, and just from preseason, just a couple of things. I know, just to update
my head
everyone.
is still hurting from that, by the way.
I like Quickly really easy.
Yeah, I still have a headache from it. I told him as soon as I heard that, I told him he just gave me a headache.
Let him win the starting job.
Thank you.
But you know what? It couldn't be surprised. Look, Kendrick Nunn was in the running. Didn't he finish like 3rd?
Yeah. It was all rookie team, Nunn.
Yeah, he finished like 3rd.
And just for an update, fellas, for the rookies in the preseason, the leading scorer among rookies was Theo Maledon at 15.5 points. Cole Anthony at 13.8.
Everyone was shitting on Maledon. No one wanted Maledon because he was French. He was like another Frank.
Yeah, like 32 points his first game. Now, Cole Anthony, I'm not saying here I was not high on Cole Anthony. He did do that against LaMelo, who can't play. He doesn't play no defense.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to play. That's the worst part.
Right.
Which is crazy because his brother is a good defender.
Does Melo have bust potential?
I think he's
If
one
he doesn't,
dimensional.
if he can't score,
No,
yeah.
He's Jason Williams.
I think his passing ability is too good to be a bust. Is he going to be a superstar? I don't know, but I think he can be a very, very good above average point guard, more or less kind of like his brother. But his brother plays defense. He needs to buy in on defense, and then we'll see. But that's what I'm laughing about his brother. Do you think the guys think that he could be an opportunity actually in the running for the Knicks next year? Because I don't know if
He's a
the
restricted
Pelicans
free
can pay
agent
him.
next
Yeah,
year.
I don't know if the Knicks going off for him 15. Do you think Pelicans are going to match?
Nah, but let me
Because
ask
they
you this.
just paid Ingram.
Let me ask you this because that's a very good question, right? And I want to do a deep dive into that, but I also wanted to do a little revisionist history just real quick. So a Knicks content creator that shall remain nameless, he's the pilot of our mothership, said he would entertain a trade offer of Mitchell Robinson and the 8th pick for the number 2 pick for LaMelo Ball. And now that we look back at it, do you think? And I know it's early. So I'm not cliff diving here, but I know it's early. But do you think LaMelo Ball is better than a combination of Obi Toppin, Emmanuel Quickly, and Mitchell Robinson?
Well, were you including the 27th pick? What was the 27th or the 23rd pick? Was that included in the trade?
No. I included that pick because if you grab LaMelo at 2, then you do something else with that 27 pick. You know what I'm saying? So you go in another direction. I don't know what player you pick there. So
the thing about it though, you take LaMelo, you can still have Quickly. Because you can have Quickly playing a smaller 2. Because again, Thibodeau doesn't play like guard. Like he doesn't play. Oh, you're shooting guard, you're point guard by like a T. I mean, you can see it, right? But especially in a triangle, he just needs guards, right?
Right. There's no point. Yeah.
You'd have Quickly who can space out the floor, shoot and pass, right? Theoretically, if you take his college production, you have LaMelo, who's not the greatest of passers, but he can get to the basket. A little bit. He's not the greatest yet, right? Get to the basket, and his passing is stupid, right? So if you had those two, I mean, and I think you're referring. I'm not sure if you're referring to me or referring to. I don't know. You're referring. So I did mention it that I would have traded up.
No, I know. I wasn't calling you out. I was calling the captain of our mothership, the dude that's the captain of the MBK fam. I'm not gonna say his name because if I'm wrong, I don't want him to do a diss track against me. I don't want him to diss me on a song. You know what I'm saying?
Freezy, I might have done it because then we'll be sitting here and we know who our point guard is. We're still debating who's going to be starting. I think if LaMelo, because I think LaMelo does have that high upside. Like he can be an NBA superstar or he can be like his brother. But I don't. It's just hard because you don't know what Mitch is going to be.
You know what the weird part is? Quickly averaged more assists in preseason than LaMelo Ball.
Because he got more minutes. LaMelo Ball was only getting like 15 minutes a game. Like they were playing Terry Rozier and Graham a lot of minutes. Which to me is like, when I'm looking at, you guys see him on Anthony Edwards. He looks awful.
Well, the second game was a lot better. Right,
he still shot. He shot like 3 from 14 or something.
But that's his shot was never that like wet from college, right?
That was including like going to the rim and mid range and shit. Like that was everything. Field goal. Like he does not look good. He's going to take a lot of time. It's going to be a year or two before he might even start even getting more playing time. Because remember they signed Beasley, so I think they might have known he was a bit of a project. I think they took him because they couldn't trade the pick.
Well, he had 17 points his first game, 12 the second, and 5 the third. But
the shooting, the amount of shots he took.
1 for 7 from 3 the second game, 1 for 5 the third game. He shot 3 for 8, 30%, 37% the first game, but 5 for 15 overall, 4 for 14. His shooting is abysmal. And
he took a lot of field goal shots.
5 turnovers.
Like he was on the floor with D'Lo, and I was watching highlights one of the game, and D'Lo was literally just shaking his head, as like give up the ball because the guy's a ball hog. He's
No
doing
doubt.
what he was doing in
Wow.
Georgia. He was the man, and that ain't gonna work in the NBA.
Not gonna work.
There was a
I
lot
didn't
of
want him
gossip
even with the
behind the
Knicks.
scenes about the kid, man.
Yeah, if the Knicks had the number 1 pick, I wouldn't have took him.
So the trade Mitch scenario is one that is probably too early to look at. Then is what y'all saying. Just to put a ribbon on that and move on.
Yeah. See, what I heard, there was rumors going out that the Knicks, there was a trade. It was Mitch and the 8th pick for 2 and Wiggins, and the Knicks were going to take Wiseman with the 2nd pick.
Right.
That's what they wanted to do, but they didn't want to take on the Wiggins contract. Which to me, I wouldn't have minded the Wiggins. See, the thing is, with Wiggins, if he could just shoot, it'd have been a good fit.
Right.
But Wiggins looks like a beast. I seen there was videos of him and then him playing with Golden State. He looks good.
I think he had 19 the other day.
Yeah, someone finally got into his head to get it, because to him, to me, Minnesota did the same thing what they done with. It was like drafting Wiggins again. A high talent, but you don't know if he's fully committed, and he's selfish.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's what Wiggins was, and that's what Edwards is.
Hey, Freezy.
Yo.
We're 19 away from 1,000 subscribers. How about you talk to your family?
Oh man, are you serious?
Yes, 981.
What'd you say the official number is?
981.
Wow, that's crazy, man. Are you serious?
I wouldn't lie to you on something this important, my friend.
Oh man, dog, we just started this like 40 days ago.
New goal. You should go 1,100 by New Year's, and I guarantee you can make that.
Well, I just want Christmas is next week, and when we want 1,000 for Christmas. So, Freezy, talk to your family.
This is crazy that the MBK family is growing so fast. It's crazy, man. Like people are legit. You know, I think we legit hit on something special, right? It's like I jumped in somebody's chat. I ain't gonna say like their show was coming on, and I was just like cleaning up my bedroom or whatever, and it was like people in the chat before he could ever get started. So I'm like, yeah, this is crazy, man. This is crazy. Hey, we appreciate everybody. This family is growing so fast that it's like I can't even comprehend how fast the family is growing. And then it's nothing but love. It ain't like a bunch of haters getting together just to go at skulls all night. You know what I'm saying? It's like legit, you know what I'm saying, something a Knicks fan could come in and enjoy. You know what I'm saying? You could pull up your son and your grandson, man, and watch some of this stuff. Man, it's crazy, man. This is beyond, you know. This is
we have 133 likes tonight, 161 people at almost 230. Again, shout out to our the greatest mods in history, Sima Bodega and New York Knicks.
Yo, Sima Singh in the building, Bodega Wi-Fi. I'm telling you, those are dudes. The guards at the gate. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy, man. Yo, it's crazy how fast this thing is growing. And then I get hit up like Foxy. I'm gonna send you a screenshot of I got to keep it private for everybody else, and I hate to say it like that, but like other Knicks content creators are like hitting me up and like the DMs like, yo, why you ain't invite me on, son? What's going on? You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, dang, y'all was so big. I didn't know you even knew we were alive. You know what I'm saying? Like dudes have like 10,000 subs or whatever. Yeah, I mean it's crazy, man.
Well, you're capturing magic, that's for sure.
Yeah. Speaking of which, just wanted to share something with y'all. I think so Macri is going to come on one day next week with us for the Knicks Morning Drive. I think it's the week after Christmas or something like that. So one of them days, I guess we'll figure it out. But yeah, man, this thing is growing so quickly, man. Can you imagine what happens if we ever get some resources?
Sky's the limit.
Yeah, man. This thing is so dope.
Hey, Freezy, you brought up leadership earlier about RJ and leadership, and I thought about what you said, and I'm not talking about skills, but when I look in RJ's eyes, I see Kobe, that same killer. I see that want to be great. And I'm not talking about talent now. I'm just talking about attitude and drive. And that's a leader. We nailed somebody who's a culture changer. What you think?
Yeah. Hey, I think we nailed 3 guys that are culture changers. When you look at Emmanuel quickly, hey, just if you eliminate everything off the basketball court, don't even look at what he does on the basketball court, right? I'm talking about in live games. Let's just say it's preseason, dude's a rookie, whatever. Don't even count the stuff that you saw in preseason, right? The dude is legit a good person, right? Good people don't always come through, you know what I'm saying? Like your organizations and stuff. They told a story about this dude finding a $20 bill and taking it to the principal office. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Small, that might seem small to some, but that means a whole that took
Character.
that took character and effort, right? It legit because you legit have to make up in your mind that you want to do the right thing. Because character would have been like, yo, I see this $20 bill right here. I'm just not going to touch it. You know what I'm saying? Because if it's not yours, but to pick it up and take it to the principal's office so that whoever missed it can go get their money back. See, that took effort. You know what I'm saying? And that's a high level of character right there. You know what I'm saying? And didn't brag. And it's like, yo, I found this $20. Whose is it? You know what I mean? It takes like the dude legit is a high character person. And I'm thinking Obi Toppin may be the same. I'm thinking Obi, but because he's saying the right things, but I need to see more stuff and get some examples. But in terms of RJ, man, dude, I'm not. Y'all, hey, Legion of Knicks can co-sign me on this. So, back when we were trash, I used to go on Sim's show and say tank for RJ Barrett. I was legit saying tank for RJ Barrett when RJ Barrett was coming out of high school, getting ready to go to Duke, right? And everybody laughed, like, you know, they were like, why you want to take for RJ Barrett? There are some things and people that you can't find in people every day. Like sometimes one person shows up and they have all these characteristics and you're like, damn, it took me like 5 or 6 people just to have these characteristics and 5 or 6 different people. You know what I'm saying? You need a group to kind of make people feel this way, but RJ Barrett shows up as one person with that. You know? So I think we legit have a reason to be optimistic. Now the stuff on the floor is going to be the stuff on the floor. You know, let's not get that twisted. But because with good coaching and some luck and some peaks and valleys, things will head in the right direction. But to have some guys in here now that are different, like we don't have like a Michael Beasley talking about he's the Bizarro Mello. Yo, I'm the left-handed Mello. It looks like we're beyond beyond that. We don't have dudes coming here getting gun charges, doing stupid stuff. You know what I'm saying? We legit look like we're headed in the right direction with a core that's high character. You know what I'm saying? And for some of us, high character means a lot more than just W's. You know what I'm saying? I want to win a championship, but I'd like for guys to be high character guys. Like I legit like to have a Derek Jeter or something like that. So, but anyways.
Yep.
Kev, why you not talking about Knox? What's going on?
I think I spent a lot of time talking about Knox tonight. You must have missed that segment of the show.
I must have missed it. This stupid machine. So I was on a machine at work, so I missed it. I must have missed it, man.
Yeah, I spent a lot of time talking about Mr. Knox.
We don't have to go back to that. We don't have to go back to that.
I made up a point to try to get out in Guillermo because I asked Steven to look up. I forgot his name already.
Devontae Graham.
Devontae Graham is my comparison, and Devontae Graham 2 years ago averaged 4 points. Last year he averaged 18 points.
Right.
Because he got like how many more minutes? Like 12 more minutes a game.
Oh, a lot more. I think 21 actually.
So And I'm like, if Kevin Knox can maintain the level of shooting he can, plus add some other wrinkles to his game, I don't see why he can't go from 6 to at least 17. Yeah, I said it, 17. Because Kevin Knox, and I think I mentioned this yesterday, Kevin Knox can get to 20 in a, I'm going to paraphrase this the right way. His 20 points will look easier than RJ's 20 points. And I said it because RJ is going to muscle and bully and pound the ball.
Driving to
It's gonna be that ugly 20 looking points.
But he can create his own shot, and the pounding also draws fouls. If
That's
RJ
why-
Barrett literally got his free throw shooting percentage to be respectable,
I'm gonna say something crazy.
20%.
Look how easy it is for Klay Thompson to get 20 points.
Yeah,
That's
but Kevin Knox
That's
has to get his points off of point guard play and or system play versus RJ Barrett was giving 14 with no coaching, and I don't want to just use preseason, right? But he's looked a lot more effective, and he's only hit one or
He
two.
looks quicker too.
So
He said 1 or 2
Kevin Knox
threes
was giving you
in
13 with no coaching in his rookie season 2.
Right, and he regressed, right? So you're talking about RJ Barrett coming into this season with better
He
coaching.
regressed because his minutes regressed.
Doesn't matter but he regressed. It doesn't matter. He still regressed, right? So he wasn't efficient. Forget. I understand the so-called minutes, but again, he didn't look good even in the. He regressed.
RJ
more than
efficient?
his minutes.
'Cause that's the thing about that kills me. RJ really wasn't efficient either.
If someone can't get it to Knox, Knox doesn't create a shot like RJ Barrett. How is he going to get easier points than RJ Barrett? Where do you get that?
Because my thing is that if you look at the offense as a whole, there will be open shots, and so it's up to Kevin to hit those shots.
That's not a given. That's not even a given. He's going to hit all. Again, I'm not saying he's not going to, but you're literally saying there's going to be more.
I'm not going to say he's going to have every night where it's 6 or 7.
If it's Buddy Hill,
if
you're saying Buddy Hill was here and he had open shots, I agree with you. Buddy Hill has a history of hitting the 3-point shot at a very high clip, right?
He's 2 for 16, RJ, in preseason from 3.
But here's the thing about it.
Right?
You keep going about history, but if you look at it, if Kevin Knox has spent 9 months and he's putting up 1,000 shots a day, and so it's like he is able to hit those shots now. Because Kevin Knox came out of Kentucky as a shooter, and so he wants to be a shooter.
9 months of you practicing something does not equate to someone doing it for years. It just doesn't. Why you can't compare Kevin Knox working for 9 months on his jump shot to Buddy Hield. I don't think he shot less than 40% from 3 his whole career.
So, are you saying it's impossible for Kevin Knox to
I
hit
did not say it was
40%
impossible.
threes?
No, don't change the argument. You're trying to literally say that just because Kevin Knox has hit shot, because you're trying to poo-poo on past success. Past success is really the only indicator you have of what's going to happen in the future. Not the only. It's the best indicator of what you're going to get in the future.
Did
right?
Devontae Graham have past success before he averaged 18 last year?
Okay. If we're talking about Buddy Hield, you can't say okay.
I didn't. You brought up Buddy Hield. I didn't bring up Buddy Hield.
Right. But you're
Devontae
saying that Kevin Knox, right, gave you 9
You
months.
just said it's all based on past
because
history.
of
I
that,
said
he's gonna
Devontae Graham have past history before he averaged 18 points a game last year.
Well, he also had it in college, right? Wasn't he putting up numbers in college? And he got more minutes in the NBA, right? So
Kevin Knox was putting up numbers in college. That's why he was drafted 9th overall.
all right, fair enough within the system. But again, we're literally sitting here saying that Kevin Knox, because he spent 9 months, now he's gonna get shots easier than RJ Barrett. Like that argument doesn't even make sense. If I have a guy who can,
I didn't think I said it's easier looking because all Kevin has to do is hit shots.
who cares if it's easier looking? Which one's more effective?
What do you mean?
If Kevin Knox is getting all his shots from open threes, that's not to say that Kevin Knox is always going to have those open threes available. It just means that he's getting a lot of his points from open threes versus RJ Barrett.
It makes it seem like it's a problem. That's the thing about it. It makes it seem like it's a problem. He's getting looks from open three. Like,
no,
oh my God, he's getting so many open threes. I hate it. Or I can't stand it.
Let me finish.
Put a hand up.
Let me finish. Because you're going off the rails, right?
I'm really not.
I'm not saying that I did not criticize which is bad, or I'm just saying that if you're saying that Kevin Knox is getting all his looks from open threes, right? That's not to say that every single game he's going to get open threes and he's going to also get open looks, and then he's always going to hit those threes versus RJ Barrett has other wrinkles to his game, can play down low, can drive to the basket, can shoot the mid-range. 3-point percentage is not there yet. Or never say it's there yet. It's just not there. It's not there yet, hopefully. Whatever. Right? He has more of a multifaceted game than Kevin Knox. So how can you say that he's going to have a hard, or that Kevin Knox is going to have an easier time getting to those numbers than Knox? That doesn't make any sense.
Because again,
Jokic could score better than Jokic just scored in more ways than Dwight Howard. If you gave Dwight Howard the minutes, he can still give you a double-double. But Jokic can score in a myriad of ways, right? So, but he's not as dominant as
the players around him better.
Right. So why would I? Of course, if I have a guy who can score in a multitude of ways, but he may not be able to do it as like Dwight Howard, playing down low, post up, or down low.
This is what I mean.
It looks better.
I mean, if Klay Thompson and Jimmy Butler both were giving you 22 points a game, but Jimmy Butler took 15 shots to get 22, and it took Klay 10.
No, I'm sorry. Say it one more time. Say it one more time.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, please.
Okay, if Jimmy Butler and Klay Thompson, two completely different players, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if both will get you 22 points a game, would you say it's easier for Klay to get that 22 than it is for Jimmy Butler?
Yeah, because he's probably doing it for 3, so it takes less shots.
That's what I mean. It's going to take less shots to Kevin Knox.
Whoa. You guys probably, I'm not sure if you guys watch Klay enough. He can also create his own shot.
You are so fixated.
Klay Thompson can play in the post.
You're missing the entire point in general. Klay is still going to take less shots.
No. Because
Jimmy Butler is, they get the same amount of points.
Hold up. Again, because you're literally thinking that only Klay Thompson, all he does is just shoot threes. He can score in a myriad of ways. Butler can score in a myriad of ways. Again, that's not the same thing as RJ and Knox. Knox has only been proven, and I don't want to say proven, but relative to his game, that his best asset and really his only asset right now that's somewhat dependable is his 3. Klay Thompson is when healthy, is a beast post-up player and can get to the basket. He can create his own shot. So you can't compare it. That's a bad comparison. If you want to say Buddy Hield, and who is it, Jimmy Butler? Maybe you have a discussion there because Buddy Hield's going to get all shots basically from 3, right?
For the most.
Hey man,
part,
so first of all, Kevin Knox is not Klay Thompson.
I'm using it as a comparison. I'm not saying I was using it as a comparison of two players who get their points in 2 different ways.
Kevin Knox should probably be more compared to a guy like Rick Fox. Y'all remember Rick Fox?
Sure.
Like an opportunistic scorer. You know what I'm saying? Get
he was on Oz.
Get opportunistic scorer. When a double team came towards Kobe and Shaq or whoever, Rick Fox could knock down a 3-pointer if he was open, and he did that and hit his free throws and got dunks in the open court when Kobe got a steal and threw it to him. You know what I'm saying? And there's nothing wrong with being an opportunistic scorer. There's nothing wrong with that. As a matter of fact, teams depend on that. I think Kevin Knox can be that. But the thing with the separator for Kevin Knox in this conversation is this: can Kevin Knox up his defensive rebounding rate? Can Kevin Knox get us steals at the same rate at his current blocks per minute? Like so, if Kevin Knox gets 25 minutes, 30 minutes a game, can he average say 2 blocks a game? You know what I'm saying? Can he get 2 steals? Can he do other stuff?
Can he get 7 rebounds?
You're right, yeah. Because like what Legion of Knicks podcast said like 1,000 times, and I agree. If he can't get his shot, what else can he do?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. I think I heard I think that was Legion of the Knicks podcast that said that. Like legit, if he can't get his shot, what else can he do? And with his height and length, he should be able to do more stuff. You know, and so I'm not knocking Kevin Knox. I'm just saying the flash that we saw in preseason, we should just consider it a flash. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that he can't do it consistently, but if we say quickly is a flash, I think we need to say that RJ's free throw shooting is a flash. I think we need to say Knox hitting 6 or 7 from 3, because nobody in the history of the game has maintained a 6 for 7 pace from 3. So we should expect to see Kevin Knox regress back to
Reality.
means. Yeah.
Well, how about this? How about this, guys? What Kevin Knox did in the preseason is good as part of his development. Now let's just see how it progresses in the season. That's all I'm saying. Because people are doing this. Don't you believe Kevin Knox? I don't believe nothing about any of these players. We don't have a precedent of being good in the past recent years. How about we just see how things progress? And we try to assess, okay, what are the ways in which all this stuff about, oh, you don't believe Kevin Knox, you're a hater.
Like I mentioned earlier in the show, there wasn't a president of success with Golden State either until they did it. And that's all I've actually have ever given to the point.
Kevin, did you bet on Golden State?
Did I?
Did you ever think Golden State was going to be this good? No. So you waited until you saw that they were good. Okay, that's the whole point.
I mean, granted, I also wasn't paying that much attention to Golden State until they, became Golden State at the same time either.
But Kev, the reason why you use that point, and I know this is going to seem, if I could just use Legion's word, I know this is going to seem esoteric, and I know Legion hadn't said that word in about a month.
Yo, shut up, Freezy.
but the thing about Kev's reference to Golden State is in real time, they may have had confidence in themselves, like printing up "We Believe" shirts and strength in numbers and all that stuff. But we also saw it play out, and there's a history. That's why you refer back to it, right? So you legit refer back to what Golden State did because there's a history and a track record now that we can point back to. As far as the Knicks go, we don't have a history or a track record to point back to. That's why Legion of Knicks is saying, hey man, how about let this thing play out and then let's judge it on what it is as it plays out in real time. And then once we have a history, we can all point back to it and say, hey, you know what? Kevin Wright was absolutely right about his point. You know what I'm saying? He said this, and this about Knox and others, and he was absolutely right. The reason why
I call it 9 years then.
The reason why I say that is because I think we legit do Kevin Knox's progress a disservice by not appreciating it for what it is and projecting future numbers. Like what we should be doing is say, hey man, Kevin Knox hit 6 or 7 threes in the game. And not saying, yeah, Knox hit those 6 threes. Now he's gonna average 25 points a game. You know what I'm saying? So I think we should appreciate the moment and then allow whatever happens happen. Because if Kevin Knox comes out and shoots 0 for 7 from 3, everybody in the chat is gonna roast Kev. Because Kev said he's going to average 40 points a game, right? so I'm saying, and so I'm with Legion. I'm with Legion on that. Like let's allow this. Let's appreciate the moment. You know what I'm saying? Like if anybody in here had ever proposed to whoever, to propose to whoever, it's beautiful. Like the moment that you propose to, it's supposed to be a special moment. You know what I'm saying? What we doing is that's what we doing. You know what I'm saying? Nah, slow down, man. Let this moment be the moment, and then let that other moment be the other moment. You know, slow down, take our time on some stuff.
All I'm getting at.
Yo, Freezy, you're breaking up. Freezy, you're
breaking up. But Freezy, if you can hear keep your thought, Kevin. We're at 983, 17 away. We're getting there. Please, everyone, thank you so much for your support. If you a subscriber, thank you. If you bring your friends, tell your friends about the family, join this family. We're 17 away from this milestone. Thank you so much. Sorry, Kev.
No, what I'm getting at, and when I brought it to Klay Thompson, I think he scored 60 points and dribbled like 3 times. So to sit here and say that Klay Thompson can create his own shot, yeah, he can. But Klay Thompson is also a catch and shoot player. Like I said, he scored 60 and dribbled 3 times.
Yeah, but
I'm giving you an analogy. I'm not saying. But this is what I'm getting at. You're saying Kevin Knox can only shoot. I want to see him do more. But if Klay Thompson can get you 60 points and dribble the ball 3 times, then
You don't watch Klay Thompson. I'm not gonna have
dynamic
a
is-
I've watched Klay Thompson, and I watched him develop his post up after his sophomore year, whatever it was. Don't compare Klay Thompson and Knox. You're not going to win this argument.
I'm
Klay
not
Thompson,
saying that. What
Klay
I'm saying is
Thompson can
Kevin
score
Knox
in a
is
myriad-
skill set for what it is right
If
now
you look at Klay
to be
Thompson's shot
sufficient
chart,
enough.
it dwars Knox's best shot chart. You take an average Klay Thompson year. The guy can develop a post-up game, can dribble, drive, can shoot off the ball. Like, dogs, what are we talking? We're comparing Knox. This is why people take your Knox arguments.
No,
Like,
you
'cause
really
you're
missed the
comparing
whole point
Klay
because it started off as saying
You're comparing
Knox
Klay
can
Thompson
score
to
the ball easier because he can get the same amount of points as RJ with less shots.
Yes, but again, you're literally RJ Barrett.
Klay Thompson is his stats are off the chart, much better than Buddy Hield, who's considered a great shooter.
Right, and they average what the same
No.
amount. They probably average around the same amount of points.
Klay Thompson is one of the greatest shooters in NBA history. Like,
right, and it's not
greatest
just
shooters in NBA history. Like, if you name the top 5, Klay Thompson's somewhere
right, but
in
it's
there.
not okay. But the way that Klay Thompson
And I'm not
shoots
and here's
is
my thing.
just
I'm not
Klay Thompson
comparing
staying in the
Klay
corner.
to Kevin.
You're
What I'm doing
not Klay Thompson. Let's stop this. Klay Thompson is not getting his shots from just staying in the corner on a spot and just receiving it and shooting it. He create the reason why the Splash Brothers are so dangerous is because they both can play on ball and off ball at a stupid high level, and then they have a center who can also give them the ball. But the law of Klay Thompson and Curry is a simple fact that the funniest thing is that Curry even became more when they opened up the offense, right, with Kerr, right? Because remember, Curry used to be way more on ball with Mark Jackson. Kerr gets there. Now they're basically not interchangeable in size, and you know what I mean, but they interchangeable playing off and on ball. Please do not compare Klay Thompson, his versatility scoring with Kevin Wright. I know that we're up at almost 3 a.m. This is dangerous for you. You do not want to go down this path, man. Please.
Again, let me say this. Now, I'm pretty sure I said it like 3 or 4 times. I'm not comparing Klay Thompson to Kevin Knox. I didn't say Kevin Knox is going to be the next.
Not the numbers, but you're comparing the style. You're comparing the style. And you're underestimating Klay's style, which is way more versatile than Kevin Knox. Way more versatile. Please don't do that, Kevin.
But this is what I'm saying. Yeah. And I'll say this. I do believe that Kevin Knox has the ability to, one, move out the ball and create with the ball. You may not have seen it in 2 periods or that. Here's my thing. Can we just give these players just a mulligan for last year? I'm not even talking about Kevin. I'm talking about everybody. Like everybody. Like Randall and RJ and
Ron Cleveland said that. Let's clear the slate.
Just from last year was just so bad from everybody because last year was like they had David Fisdale and then that was crap. So they kind of just gave up and just was out there without any. They were basically just mailing it in. And so I don't want to sit here and say, look at last year as the outlier for what they can be. Now, we all expect RJ to be better because he works hard at it and he looks like he wants it. He's going to be better. And it's like, I'm pretty sure he's done other things and make it look like he just looks like he wants it. There's necessary work that he is going and put in. It's just so very unfair to Kevin Knox, who has also put in work, just the same amount, to say, you know what, he's just not good enough. But RJ is, because RJ looks like he wants it the most. So it's like your demeanor is what makes you want it, I guess. And that's what I've always felt was the unfair things. Like RJ, the golden child, who everyone loves because he has just grit and just determination, is a harder worker than Kevin Knox because he looks more determined than Kevin Knox. Like Kevin Knox will go, oh, he pouts and da-da-da-da, he must not want it. What? If that was the case, he wouldn't have done nearly as much stuff to improve his game as he's done. Because mind you, 9 months is pretty much a whole season. It's a whole season. And he has done everything that the coaches told him to do. He's worked with some of the best trainers. So why does he not want it, but RJ does? That's what I just never understood.
I'm not even sure. I'm not even sure what the point was. No one's belittling his 9 months of work. All I'm just saying, let's just see during the regular season what it comes out to. That's it. I'm not hating on Kevin Knox. Like I said time and time again, if Kevin Knox beats out the rookies or the veterans, he should get the job. If he doesn't, then he has to compete. So I don't know what the.
I know Knox this year is going to put up better numbers than Klay Thompson.
Well, yeah, I'll give you that one. He'll definitely outscore.
Man, that's great
Klay
writing, my
Thompson
friend.
this year.
So, absolutely. Hey, we're getting close to that point. We're getting close to that 3 o'clock number.
Yeah, I'm shutting it down at 3 tonight. I was up to like 5 o'clock arguing.
That is, I don't know what the hell you guys are sick.
Oh, that's not the crazy part. The crazy part's our brother Freezy. So he goes through that marathon, and then he's bright and cheery on morning drive this morning. The man's a cyborg. I call him the Lawrence Tears cyborg. God bless him.
Yeah, I couldn't do it.
Freezy, you there?
I'm here, man.
I'm gonna head off, guys. I'm gonna try and get up for the show.
Freezy's cool. We shut it down, or you have something else you want to go over?
Yeah, I wanted to say shout out to Kevin Wright for being a Kevin Knox homer. You legit don't see love like that unless it's the Church of Frank. The Frankers generally have love, so much love for Frank that they legit will throw other Knicks players at the altar and burn them in sacrifice to the God of Frank. They love Frank Ntilikina, right? And Kev loved Knox. I hadn't seen somebody on the show come in and knock exercise like Kevin in a long time. Kev legit comes in and knocks exercises for like 4 straight hours for Knox. Yo, it's unbelievable. You legit have the mental stamina of a cyborg, dog. No matter what, Legion of Knicks came at you with like 10 different points trying to prove this thing. And I ain't gonna lie, I think the Legion of Knicks podcast was right. I agree with him, but your stamina is incredible.
There's a lot of
He has that new hit song, Knox's size.
There's a lot of people in the chat that was
Come
agreeing
on,
with me.
everybody, do your Knox's size.
90% of the people in the chat were agreeing on my side.
No, they weren't.
No,
literally were.
Yeah.
For comparing RJ and Knox to Clay
Go
and
back in
Butler.
the chat. They is on my side.
No one's on your side.
I didn't see that, Kev.
Yeah.
No
Kev,
one's
I didn't
on
see
your
that.
side. You know what? I legit want to see Knox do well, because if he doesn't, I'm very scared what might happen. Because, dude, you are putting all your eggs into this one Knox. It's one thing to be optimistic. I'm with you, man. I'm optimistic on RJ. I'm actually optimistic on Knox. I think he's going to be putting a proper role to hit threes. I don't know about his ceiling, but what you're doing is scary. This is
Definitely not.
The stamina is incredible. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Yeah, Kev's stamina for Knox is unprecedented. Even Frankers will project. Frankers will say, "Well, wait and see. You'll see when the season starts."
This is the difference between the Frank Ntilikina fans.
No, they're not fans. Kev, they're not fans. They are legit Frankers. It's
only have like so much to go on, and then it just run out of ammunition because Frank is who Frank is. But Kevin Knox is like an onion that if you peel, it's so many different layers. You can just keep going because it's like, wow, what are those little dolls called? And you take one out and it's another one.
Knoxes.
The Russian dolls, you mean?
Yeah, the Russian dolls.
Yeah.
That's what Kevin Knox is. Because you've seen so much potential from Kevin Knox. And it's like, God, if he just put it all together And then when you think it's down, he goes 6 for 7 from 3, and he proves me right. And it's like, I knew you had it in you. I knew you weren't gonna let me down, Kevin.
Dude,
Hey,
you have so
RJ
much
White.
stamina.
RJ White from the chat said he agrees with you. Knox will make you cry like an onion.
Like, yeah. Bam. Hey, so let me just do the PSA before we go. So if you like what you hear, you like what you see, subscribe to the channel. Right. Let's continue to grow the Knicks at Night podcast family, the Knicks One and Drive family, so that we can continue to have conversations like this one. And with your support, we'll have maybe even better conversations. When we add, different perspectives, different views, more points and facts. Like the live stream, turn on the notification bell, share on your social media, comment continue to comment in the replay videos. I'm way behind, and so Boost Mobile got on me about me being behind in the comments. Usually I'm pretty on it, but since I started the Knicks One and Drive, I'm a little bit behind. But I'll continue to comment in those. Also, share on your social medias, join in the virtual chat, and join in the video chat. We need some different perspective. We need maybe an Obi fan to come bump Kevin Wright out the way, because we get knocked. We get knocked for like 4 straight hours.
You got knocked out.
That's we haven't spent enough time on Obi.
You got knocked out.
Right. We get. Hey, would you say, Legion?
No, I'm saying all this time we haven't actually spent a lot of time on Obi, like dissecting the game, and keep freaking talking about Kevin Knox, man. My bad.
Because my man keeps Knoxicizing.
We're gonna talk about Obi. We're gonna talk about Obi all night tomorrow.
No, man,
I'm not even gonna. Here's the thing. I'll make this guarantee. I will not bring up Kevin Knox one time.
You can't help yourself.
I'm not doing it.
Can we put a bet on this? All right, can we put a bet on this?
Hold on. What if I won't put it, or someone won't bring him up? Because they won't be with me. I will not bring up Kevin Knox.
But you will jump in if they bring him up.
So you said that I can't talk about Kevin Knox?
Exactly.
If Steven brought up Kevin Knox, I can't say anything. At all.
Well, Kev, earlier somebody legit sneezed. Somebody was like, and you were like, speaking of Knox, because he Knoxicized, man. He Knoxicized for like 3 straight hours.
Like I said, I will not bring up Kevin Knox.
You will. Okay, you can't bring up Kevin Knox, and you can't make any facial expressions if Kevin Knox has like a good game or something like that. You can't say anything.
When tomorrow or like Wednesday?
Wednesday.
Oh no! Because if Kevin Knox busts out with like 20 on Wednesday, I'm going off.
You got to give him that.
If Kevin Knox put up 12 on Wednesday, or for like 30% shooting, you're gonna do the same thing. It doesn't matter.
I'm saying if Kevin Knox plays like he has the last 2 games, I'm like,
You know what's funny? You're still gonna have in your head that people are against him. We want him to do well, just because I know you're gonna be like, I know Guillermo, he didn't want Kevin Knox. No, I wanted Kevin Knox to do well, man. But
right.
Hey, just real quick, a shout out to Sima Singh, awesome bodega, New York Knicks, 148 likes, and Freezy 984, 16 away.
Yeah, man.
Because unless I don't, Freezy, don't follow this advice, but I want to see the 1,000. Like, I want to see it hit 1,000 when everyone's on. Because if we all sleep, Freezy, please get sleep. If we all sleep, you know what I mean? It's gonna be at 1,000. You know what I mean? Before we all wake up.
Very well, it could be tomorrow morning.
Right, it could be.
I hope. Well, that means. Well, let's hope. Well, that sounds terrible. I was gonna say let's hope no one likes it until tomorrow. But obviously, you want people to freaking like it.
It's impossible. He's loved.
Yeah, because
we're at 984.
I mean, 984. 16.
Yeah, because it's not just about the number, man. It's about the family growing.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And so we want to make sure that the family grows. We want to make sure people come in and realize that they have a place that they can legit come in and vent. And the proof is right here on this live stream. Kevin Wright legit talks about Kevin Knox like 4 straight hours. You don't get that in other places.
I'm literally not bringing up Kevin Knox tomorrow. Not one time will you hear the words Kevin Knox.
It's so easy to get you.
Duck's gonna fall down from the ceiling.
I want to clarify this. If Kevin Knox came up, I can't join the conversation. Is that what you're saying?
No. You can't look at it. Look at it. This is sad. For one day, you can't hold this shit.
Fine. If Kevin Knox, now hold on. Now people can't bait
You're
me.
gonna take
Like,
Xanax
hey,
or
what do you
something.
think about this either?
I'm only gonna bring Kevin Knox tomorrow. Watch, Kevin. You can't remember. You're not gonna remember this. You can't hold it. You can't. There's no way. Look at you, man. This is sad.
Hey, Steven, and
Because I want to make it clear, like I can't at all talk about Kevin Knox. I can't bring Kevin Knox up.
Not even reference. You can't even say.
God, I
we're
love
talking about
hanging
the
with you
Knicks, you
guys
can't
and the
even
Knicks
mention
at
it.
night
You gotta
family.
I won't bring him up. I won't.
the thing about it, Kevin, is it doesn't make me a difference. You know what I'm saying? I like it. I think it's fun. You know what I'm saying? But the one thing I did see though, the fact that Legion of the Knicks said you can't talk Knox sent you into withdrawals. Right? Just the thought of it sent you into withdrawal. So I'm like, what in the world's going on?
No. It's not like I said. It's not that. I just want to be clear on the parameters of whatever this is. Like if the chat is talking, if the panel is talking about Kevin Knox, then I can't join in on the conversation.
Yo, Quattro Cinco said, we will not mention Kevin Knox once, but that's a Noxymoron.
Oh my God! No.
So that's
Remind me of the great Minneapolis. Thanks for your kind words.
like if the panel is talking about Kevin Knox, do I not join in on that conversation?
We got to give you your happiness too, man. If it's
I will not bring up or mention anything about Kevin Knox unless it is brought directly to me.
Directly to you. So if we were just talking about it, you're not gonna say anything.
No.
So are you gonna be able to physically withstand a conversation without Knoxercising? Like what's that gonna do to you physically?
At the mouth.
Yeah. there's 14 other players talking about.
Delano still said it best. I was just about to say that too. Kevin Wright will not bring up Kevin Knox, but will use a technicality of someone else bringing him up to talk Knox.
It's like the law. Now that you brought that up, now you opened up questioning.
Oh wow!
Unless someone directly brings it up to me, then I won't say anything.
So you're not going to Knoxercise tomorrow. So you're not Knoxercising tomorrow. Okay, all right. We'll see how long that lasts.
It's gonna last the whole time.
We'll see. Hey, y'all! I got to get out of here and go back in here.
Actually, I'm getting off too.
We're gonna shut it down. Thank you again. 984, 16 away from hitting that milestone. 148 likes tonight. God bless you all. Thank you for all your support, and everyone have a great night.
Take care, man. Sleep well.